I feel I'm closer to finding him than at any other time. His disguise is clever. Very clever. But somehow, in the back of my mind, the clues are coming together. I'll find him. I'm sure of it.
Yes.
Call for you on 613, Commissioner.
Thank you. Hello?
We tried red, yellow, and green, buddy. Don't we have any colors you like?
Sorry, Commissioner. Don't apologize, officer. I deserved it.
All day, all night, Marianne, down by the seaside, sifting sand. Even little children love Marianne, down by the seashore, sifting sand. Hi, I found the sheet music on the organ. I thought you wanted me to learn it, and I aimed to please. You didn't put the sheet music on the organ.
No, I didn't. And I've been hearing this song all day. Accordionists, ice cream vendors. Now I come home and find it on the organ.
What is it? Some sort of a message? A warning? Why are you laughing?
Marion!
Who's she?
George Marion. I trained with him in intelligence. We served overseas together. You get it? Marion, Marianne.
Oh,
Da,
I get it.
da, da, down by the seaside, sifting sand. Is there a Sands Hotel by the seaside anywhere?
The Sands Inn in North Beach.
Oh, yeah.
How quickly one forgets.
Oh, yeah, that $5 extra for the waterbed.
Mr. Romance strikes again. Mac, why doesn't George Marion just call you on the telephone when he comes into town?
It's not his style. Any game, prank, gimmick, that's what got him into intelligence in the first place. If it was your birthday, he couldn't just say happy birthday. No, he had to send you to a Chinese restaurant. You got your message in a fortune cookie. George Marion, please. You don't?
Try Smith. They stay there all the time.
This is Commissioner McMillan. Do you have a message for me? All right, thank you. He's registered as Maroney. That's an anagram of Marion. The message was, be there when the band starts playing. I want to be there when the band starts playing.
Better be ready at 8:30. All right, now the one on the left is George Marion. Tell me about the others.
Okay. Next to him is Mark Erickson. He was our unit commander. Still in the organization. And this dashing gentleman is young Stuart McMillan, who later became a distinguished public servant. The man with his hand on my shoulder is Miles Eisner, killed on a mission.
Oh, that's terrible. I bet you were all very close, weren't
Yep,
you?
we were. Time to go.
You know, I'm looking forward to meeting George Marion.
Good.
You can tell me about that woman in the photograph.
Woman.
You know, the one in the center with your arm around her.
Oh, come on, Sally. You know how those things are.
Yes, I was hoping maybe not in this case.
That woman is Elena Standish. She was a real professional.
Professional what?
Spy, of course.
Maybe you've forgotten the secret knock.
No.
George? Mac?
Is he Mac?
Call headquarters.
Nobody saw or heard anything, sir. Everything was in its proper place, except the blind from the window. It was pulled out of the window, and, oh yes, there was a pen found on the floor near the night table.
Dry.
How'd you know?
You don't throw a pen on the floor if it works. What was the cause of death? Poison?
Yes, sir. The medical examiner thinks it was cyanide.
Uh-huh.
You may have noticed the bitter almond smell.
Yeah.
The time of death was about 7:30, around an hour and a half before you got here. And, he thinks, he's going to run some tests. Also tests on some allergy capsules that were found on the floor nearby. And there was some sort of funny stuff on his shoes, like he'd been walking in sawdust. They'll run tests on that, too, of course.
Good. As soon as you can.
Yes, sir.
Mac, the man on the balcony, the one with the mustache.
Go ahead and say it. You mean the one who clobbered me?
If George Marion was dead 1 hour before we got there, then why would the man be on the balcony? A killer just doesn't hang around like that.
He might. On the other hand, who said he was the killer?
you're not back already.
Mildred, where are you going?
Oh, I want you to find my message and figure it out for yourself.
What message? Where?
Look in the organ.
On the organ.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, dry bones.
Got it?
No.
Them bones, them dry bones, them bones, them dry bones. Got it now?
No.
I get it. Mildred's gonna try again, right?
Right.
Try what again?
I'm going on the wagon, Commissioner. That's why I'm going to my sister's house. You always say I'm so huffy when I try and dry out around here.
Dry bones. Dry bones. I get it.
Oh, wonderful. Did anybody ever tell you you're kind of slow at deciphering messages?
I'll work on it. Meanwhile, good luck. I hope you make it all the way this time.
All the way is the only way I go, Commissioner.
May I help you with your luggage?
Not for a moment. Thank you so much.
Beat it.
Hello? Hi, Sergeant. Yeah, just a second. He's here. Sergeant Enright.
Yeah.
Commissioner, it's Enright. We found a false bottom on the dead man's valise. I think you'd better come over here and have a look at it.
I'll be right there.
Right.
I feel I'm closer to finding him than at any other time. His disguise is clever. Very clever. But somehow, in the back of my mind, the clues are coming together. I'll find him. I'm sure of it.
I don't get it, sir. Find who?
I don't know.
Well, it's strange that he didn't name the man, isn't it?
Before or after he was poisoned?
Well, when he made the report. I wasn't even thinking about after.
When he made the report, he assumed his superior would know who he was talking about. But after he was poisoned, why didn't he name the man?
Well, look. The briefcase containing the message was locked in the closet. Now, he knew that he didn't have time to unlock the closet, take out the briefcase.
So he went for a pen, which was closest.
Yeah, but that pen was dry.
Right. But he died in a chair at that end of the room, and the closet was at that end of the room.
Well, what difference does that make?
Well, if he went for a chair instead of a closet, he was trying to tell me something.
How come you're not talking, Mac? You're always talking and brushing my teeth. Thinking, huh? What are you thinking about?
Huh? Oh. Suppose when George Marion grabbed that blind, he was sending me a message. Look, he's alone. He feels the cyanide, knows he's been poisoned, knows I'm on my way.
Well, he could write it down.
Maybe he did. Maybe he grabbed a pen, didn't work. Then with his dying breath, he pulls down that vine.
But what does that mean, a Venetian blind? Man, could a blind man have done it? You said that accordionist was blind.
Of course. A Venetian blind.
A Venetian blind?
Venice.
Venice, Italy. Venice, California.
No. A man's name. Marion was naming his murderer. Venice. Venice.
It's Venice!
Jump, Miles!
Stay on, Mac! staging her. You saw him, Elena. I can't believe it.
I won't believe it.
Venice.
It's all right, Mac. Well, it's not really all right. I mean, you were shouting Elena.
I gotta find her.
That must have been some dream.
I was dreaming about a man named Miles Eisner. He was killed, betrayed by Venice. So were so many others. Elena Standish had worked with him. She's the only one who could identify him. Don't you see? Venice isn't dead. Not if he killed George Marion. Marion found him. So Venice killed George Marion. And Elena isn't safe as long as Venice is alive. She's in real danger.
Would you mind calling her Standish?
She's got to be warned. If I can find her.
No, there is no Elena Standish. There never has been an Elena Standish in intelligence.
But she does exist.
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Well, when will the chief of personnel be in?
He'll be in about an hour.
You told me that an hour ago.
Well, he'll be here in an hour.
All right. When he comes in, will you have him call me, please? Thank you, Colonel. And if you ever come to San Francisco, watch out where you park your car.
I'm sorry, sir. Nothing. I've checked with every known intelligence unit, and according to them, former agent Elena Standish never even existed.
Well, we'll just have to find her ourselves. She's beautiful, brunette, and foreign-born.
That's not much to go on. Oh, I've had blow-ups made of that old picture of her, but...
Good. I'll give you some more. She loves mountains, she loves big dogs, she loves to paint, and I suspect she lives alone. Check with the police in all mountainous areas, places like Boulder, Colorado Springs, places like that, Aspen. Find out if anybody fitting that general description moved in the last few years.
When?
Tomorrow.
But, sir...
Late today would be better. What have you found out about the poison?
Well, it was cyanide, all right. Sir, he was an intelligence agent. Don't they sometimes...
Rarely. And only behind enemy lines. Not on a Wednesday in a motel in North Beach.
Well, so far, the allergy capsules are clean, sir.
Well, they could all be clean. Except one, if he took one, couldn't they?
But how would the killer know which pill he...
Well, as long as it's question time, where was Marion yesterday? How did he spend his time in San Francisco? And where did he come from?
Sir, we're working on it.
And also, are we sure that stuff on his shoes was sawdust?
Well, sir...
I know. We're working on it.
Hello? Hi, Sally.
Oh, hi, Mildred. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. But there's something about this time of day, and I just got to missing the two of you.
Oh, that's really sweet. We miss you, too.
Yeah, I could just see the two of you sitting there having a little drinky before dinner.
Well, actually, we were just about to have dinner.
At home? Just the two of you? What'd you fix?
No, Mac's taking me out to dinner. I've got to hurry, Mildred, because he wants me to meet him at the Sands Inn first.
The Sands Inn? Why don't you just go upstairs? It's a lot closer, and you can use your real names up there.
Thank you, Mildred. Keep in touch.
It is just like I told that other fellow. That was the sergeant. He registered as Gregory Maroney. Paid his rent every day in advance. No phone calls, no visitors. That we know of, but we don't check much.
I know. It's part of the casual charm of this place. Did he have any identification as Maroney?
I never checked. Well, he said he was from out of town.
And that settled it?
That and paying cash up front.
Thank you. You've been very frank.
Stewie? Hey, Stewie.
I really don't think we've met.
What? Oh, I get it. Don't worry. If you got lucky, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm Rita.
I'm Sally.
My wife.
Gee, and I was always your sister. Well, hon, whatever you are, take good care of him. They don't make them like Stewie no more.
That's good to hear. Do I detect a note of puzzlement? Stewie, old pal?
I really don't think we've met. Hey. My wallet. Wait for me in the car.
Your table's waiting, Commissioner. This way, sir.
Sit down, Mac. Rita, we'll both have coffee.
Mark Erickson. Mark Erickson. Well, you could have just telephoned. You didn't have to send an agent to lift my wallet.
Discretion. Better part of valor, as you would call. Mac, I'm speaking for the entire intelligence community. Stop stirring up flack about Elena Standish.
She's got to be warned. She's been out of it for years. Venice will find her.
Venice is dead.
You know better than that. Venice killed George Marion.
Who told you that?
George Marion.
Before he died?
No, after.
You gonna tell me how he did that? No, you're not. All right, Venice is alive. Marion told me 2 months ago.
Well, how?
Now, don't ask me any questions. We'll operate strictly on a need-to-know basis. Marion was on Middle East assignment. He took a side trip to Wadi Al-Faz, a little village just off the Gulf, near Aden. Mean anything to you?
Isn't that where Venice is supposed to be buried?
Marion discovered the grave was a clever fake. He decided that Venice was alive and in the United States. And he wanted him for his very own. He didn't like people who killed his friends.
Neither do I.
So Marion went on detached service to find Venice.
And he found it.
That's it, man. Stay out of it.
That's not quite it. Elena Standish.
A, she can take care of herself. B, we take care of her anyway.
Elena doesn't know.
C, she does know. Marion went to her as soon as I gave him his hunting license. Where else could he go for leads?
That's my point exactly. That's where Venice will go next.
We'll handle Venice. You don't think we can do it, do you?
You're not going to get the chance. You're forgetting something. I'm police commissioner of San Francisco. Apart from the fact that George Marion was one of my closest friends, I cannot let anyone handle a murder that took place in San Francisco.
You don't have any choice.
I'm going to give you one, though. Either you give me Elena's address, or you go before a grand jury and tell them everything you know about the death of George Marion.
Well, I can't do that, can I? Blow the cover on the whole operation. The plane ride to New Mexico is not so bad. It's the car ride after that's tough on the kidneys.
Mac, are you really sure that this is a road?
It says so on the map.
the map say now?
The map says here's a creek. We'll have to walk from here. Ha. You okay?
Uh-huh. I was a Girl Scout, you know.
You were?
Do you suppose she's gonna believe that we just happened to drop by? Oh. Just a nice walk in the country.
You could have stayed home.
Oh, sure was. You come to visit Matahari.
It's a business call.
Oh, let's just say my mother didn't raise any foolish children. Besides, you asked me to come with you, remember?
Of course I remember. You said, do you think I should go with you to see Elena Standish? And I said, do you want to go with me to see Elena Standish? And you said...
I'd love to go with you. How sweet of you to ask.
You're right. Your mother didn't raise any foolish children.
Suddenly, I'm not so sure.
Don't move. Here, boy. Here. You gotta be trained in some language. Try your French.
Viens ici, mes petits chiens. Nous sommes des amis.
How's your Italian? Don't move a muscle. If they go for me, make a dash for the house.
Help! Somebody, please help! Is anybody in there? Please!
Spot! Fido! Fanta! Santile! Suissa! Suissa! Stewart McMillan. Well, I live very simply, but I have everything I need. I have the mountains, time to paint, plenty of solitude. And I have my dogs. They're killers, of course. Trained to Chinese. With names like Spot and Fido, most people try English.
Elena, I'm afraid this is not entirely a social call.
I know that. Otherwise, Mark Erickson would never have told you where to find me.
It's about George Marion. He's dead.
Was it Venice?
Murdered.
Then it was Venice. So many missions betrayed. So many good men. And now Marion. What do you want of me?
What was your conversation with George Marion?
Well, he showed up here one morning and we talked late into the night. Just knowing that Venice was alive seemed to energize him, gave him a mission in life. But he wanted everything I could remember about Venice. Well, I told it all before, Mac. I mean, you know that.
There must have been something.
He wanted a way to identify him. How does one identify a master of disguise who is medium weight, medium height, medium coloring, and with no distinguishing scars, whom one hasn't seen for several years? Russian, British, Arab, young, old, rich, poor. He played all the parts. So, I did these for Marion, ways I had seen Venice, as well as I could remember. This was how he looked when the power station was blown in Nicosia. He escaped to England like this in 1962. But what's the use? He never wore the same disguise twice.
All right, maybe it wasn't the way he looked, but perhaps it was the way he walked, what he ate, something in his lifestyle, where he'd be. You know, you put him on some track.
Lifestyle. It would have to be that. I told George about the last time Venice and I were together. It was in the Café Ben in Mersa Matruh, a place that was reasonably safe for both of us. He'd called me there to say goodbye. For the last time, he said. He was quitting, getting out while he still could. He seemed in good spirits. And it was the first time I'd ever heard him talk about his childhood. His parents were performers in a traveling circus in Middle Europe. Like a carnival in America, I suppose. And by the time he was 15, he could walk wires. He could serve as a catcher for a trampoline act. He could juggle. And he still had a soft spot in his heart for that life. So it struck me that if you wanted to disappear, the traveling show where no one asks your name and everyone minds his business. 2 months later, we heard he was dead. Buried at Wadi El Fas.
Mac, George Marion's shoes.
Yes, they had sawdust on them. It suggests that he visited a carnival.
That he'd seen Venice.
But without knowing it. He couldn't recognize Venice, but Venice did recognize George Marion.
And the irony is that Venice admired Marion's work. He often spoke of how brilliant he was. Of course, he recognized you as being the best.
Let's assume for the moment that we've narrowed Venice down to San Francisco. Now, what we need is positive identification. I don't suppose I could ask you to...
Go ahead, ask me.
All right. Would you?
No.
Huh.
I'm out of it now, Mac. I'm an ex-spy. And you know what they say about ex-spies and ex-lion tamers. They never come out of retirement.
Think about it, Elena.
I have thought about it, Mac. And you see, you are still emotionally involved. I'm not. Anymore.
You should be. Because if we don't get Venice, he's bound to get you. Goodbye, Elena.
Goodbye, Mac.
Well, what do you think?
I think your Elena was in love with Venice.
She's not my Elena. And what makes you think that?
Just a feeling I get.
Mm-hmm.
The way she said his name. So personal. You know the last time they met when he told her he was going to quit and disappear?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was just his way of telling her that their affair was over. Part of her wants to help find him. Part of her wants to help him hide, Mac.
Prussic acid or a hydrocyanic acid, both terms being interchangeable, and I might add deadly, regardless which word you use. Now, this poison may be easily obtained because it, detective fiction to the contrary, is almost impossible to administer.
Are you saying that Marion...
Because of the pronounced odor and taste of almonds, bitter almonds, makes it easily detectable, comes often to the attention of the police as a result of suicides. Now, on the other hand, arsenic or arsenate of lead may be easily administered
Sykes.
only because of...
Sykes!
Sir.
Yes or no? Was Marion poisoned?
Yes, but...
Prussic acid?
Yes, but... if your friend was murdered, sir, now how? How was this poison administered?
It had to be the allergy capsules.
We tested 47 so far. They all had what they were supposed to have in them.
What about the sawdust?
The substance on the deceased shoes?
Yes. It was sawdust.
The commissioner doesn't miss a trick. Very good. But this was not ordinary sawdust, no. It was treated with flame retardant.
Of course. You can't use ordinary sawdust on the floor of a public place.
Exactly. And so treated, you would find it in butcher shops and fish or poultry market, wineries, cheap restaurants.
But this came from a carnival.
Carnival. Commissioner, that's a very good thing. Carnival, I never thought.
You know the name of it, don't you?
Sure do. Carnivals need permits. So I checked Fairfax, San Francisco, and Marin counties. There's only one. It's called the Bel Habib Carnival, and it's been playing about 3 months out at Crescent Beach.
How about a picture of yourself? Smile. That's it. Terrific. Gentlemen. Smile. Good. If you present this card inside the main tent, you can have a free picture of yourself.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Free? I don't see how they do it.
Well, $1.50 a piece to get in the main tent. That's $3 for a snapshot of you and me. I'll take this way.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? May I direct your attention to the uppermost part of the midway? See Kovacs, the human fly, defy the laws of gravity with his daring acrobatic stunts. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Kovacs, the human fly. One of the world's renowned aerobatic artists. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is.
Come on, step right up. 3 shots, half $1. 3 shots for a half. Come on, step right up. Lady, over here, come on. Excuse me. You ever seen this man?
3 shots for a half. I only talk to paying customers.
Oh. I should warn you, I'm a pretty good shot.
Terrific.
I'm sorry, Commissioner. That's all I know.
Thank you.
Commissioner McMillan? Commissioner McMillan?
Yes?
I thought so. I recognize you by the picture my daughter Ruth took. I'm Clemente Habib, impresario of this enterprise. You see, in this business, we have to expect visits from the police, and so one trains oneself to recognize them. What can I do for you?
Thank you, but even the commissioner of police can spend an afternoon at a carnival without having an official reason.
Oh, please forgive me. Then the gentleman in the picture with you is not a plainclothesman. Come with me, please.
He was, a couple of days back.
Did you talk to him? Okay.
I ask no questions of those who work for me. I demand only that they do not drink on the job and that they stay out of trouble. I harbor no criminals. I harbor no one.
He talked to me. Yeah, he was a good shot, too.
Well, my apologies. And you see, I assumed that your visit was connected with that of the other man.
Other man?
Yeah, but since it is not.
I didn't say that. I am interested in how you knew somebody might be hiding here.
Well, now you know.
The other man?
Yes, his name was what? George Marion.
George Marion's dead. Murdered, which I'm investigating. I'd like your cooperation.
Sure.
When was he here?
Several days ago.
He was here twice.
Did you take his picture?
Yes, I probably still have it. Should I get it?
Later. What did he want?
Information, you know. The people with the show, how long they've been here, where they worked before. I'm afraid I wasn't very helpful, you see. Our personnel department is, well, rather informal.
Meaning you hire off the street?
Exactly. I gave him a list of the people, indicated those who had been with us many years. I think he talked with everyone. Ruth here, she accompanied him on most of the interviews.
Yes, he seemed most interested in the people that joined us recently, and he took notes. I'm sure he checked.
Did he take any pills?
Wait, he did when he was interviewing Aldo.
Who is Aldo?
The knife thrower.
I'd like to talk to him.
I'm sure that could be arranged, considering that he's been listening to every word we've said to each other. Isn't that right, Aldo?
Ah, did you call me Maestro?
Yes, Commissioner McMillan would like to ask you a few questions.
Please, anything.
When George Marion questioned you the other day, did he take any pills?
2. It was awful. All of a sudden, he starts wheezing and sneezing. I thought he was going to die on the spot. Allergic to fur, he tells me, and here I am breaking in my new act. Aldo the Aborigine. Some guys got no luck, Commissioner.
Did the pills help?
Yeah, come to think of it, I think they did. Of course, he was still wheezing when he left, but he was alive.
Thank you very much.
Anytime, Commissioner.
Hooray! Step right this way, ladies and gentlemen. See the wonders of the universe. See Bertha, the bearded lady. Marvin Ledoux, the man with two noses. See the human fly defy the laws of gravity with his spectacular acrobatic feats. See Sammy Lee, the seal boy. Neither man nor beast. He walks, he talks, he crawls on his belly like a reptile. Hurry, hurry, hurry! See Gilbert the Great, astound you with amazing defeats of Ledger Devane. See Mongo, the strange creature with the long dangling arms. Hurry, hurry, hurry!
Yes, the man on the balcony after Marion got killed.
Well, I'll put out a bulletin on it.
Brawny, bald man with a mustache. We can hold our line up at Candlestick Park. We need a picture.
Yes, sir. Hey, how about Habib's daughter?
Yes, odds are she has a photo, Mr. Mustache.
Yes, sir. Now, listen, there are two things.
Yeah.
You should talk to a Father Reagan at St. Barnaby's Church. It's right across the street from the main entrance. It seems that he's sort of the unofficial chaplain for this outfit.
And the other thing?
Can I lock this in the trunk of your car?
I'll help any way I can. But as to the background of the people in the carnival, I've only been here 3 months myself. I was abroad before that, a series of missions, Far East mostly. But I did talk to your friend, Mr. Marion. He struck me as an unhappy man, driven, obsessed. He was killed, you say?
Yes, 3 days ago.
Oh, yes, the man in the hotel. I read about it, but I didn't think... When did he die?
Early evening, about 7:30.
7:30, I may have been the last person he talked to. It was nearly 7 when he left here. I suppose that puts me down as what's the term? A possible?
What did you talk about?
Well, he told me everything that you've told me about his search for the missing man, and he gave me some biographical detail on some of the people in the carnival, asked if I could confirm it.
Did you?
Well, as far as I knew, it was accurate.
Did he take any pills while he was with you?
Oh, my, yes. He was wheezing, eyes running. He didn't have to tell me he was allergic. And he was poisoned. Could it have been the pills?
We're looking for a special needle in an untidy haystack. We need somebody who's seen Venice.
You need me because I've seen him. I know that, Mac, but...
I'd arrange it so you'd be protected. He wouldn't have to see you. Well, nothing is perfect, Elena. You're not perfectly safe right now.
I'm a good deal safer than I would be doing another job. And that's what you're talking about, isn't it? A job. A safe one? What we used to call a piece of cake?
You're right, Elena. It's too risky. In all honesty, when it was over, when we had him in custody, he'd know who did it anyway.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I did an unfair thing in asking you. We'll find him, somehow. And when it's over, I'll call you and let you know what he's been doing, where he's been living, and with whom.
You're sure I would be safe?
You'll be safe. Well, not perfectly safe. Sergeant Enright will be there to meet you in the morning and escort you back. Goodbye, Elena.
She's coming here. How did you manage that?
You were right. She did have an affair with Venice. He ended it. A woman and a faithless lover. Two emotions to work on, and I used both.
Jealousy, and what was the other one?
Curiosity.
C-U-R... Curiosity, it fits.
Aren't you supposed to be calling Sergeant Enright?
Coffee, sir. Would you like more coffee?
You know, Miss Standish, I sure would have liked to have known the commissioner in those days. I mean, I bet he was really something.
There's some information, Sergeant, that never gets declassified.
Yeah, I guess not. But I sure would have liked to have known him in those days. Not that it isn't a privilege to know him now, but I sure would have liked to have known him in those. Excuse me, do you mind if I try to catch 30, 40 winks before we land?
No, please do. I'm a little tired myself.
Sir, you'll have to deplane now.
Oh. Where's the lady who was seated next to me?
Everybody else deplaned 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that's impossible. How could I have... coffee? Who served me coffee?
I must have wine.
No, I didn't see the face, but her fingers were longer and she had dark nail polish.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
Of course you're not mistaken. The question is, where have they taken her?
They? Venice or Erickson?
Erickson. If it was Venice, she'd be dead. Where's the boss, Rita?
Boss? I'm the boss. My name's Betty Jane Morrison. You want to see some ID?
Commissioner McMillan's office.
Sergeant Enright, I want you to send a detail over to the Panama Club in North Beach. I want this place padlocked.
What?
The liquor license does not reveal the name of the true owner.
Commissioner, is this you?
And call the press room. Send some people over. I got a big story for them.
Forget it, Mac.
Forget it, Emily. Where is she, Mark?
She's one of ours, Mac. We're responsible for her security.
Do you
as
want
a
me
matter
to
of
arrest
law.
you?
On what?
Obstructing a criminal investigation. No, you don't want me to arrest you, so you're going to tell me where she is.
Let's talk a deal.
No deal. I want full cooperation between your people and my police department.
Well, that's a deal, isn't it? Okay, the Regency. When do you want to see her?
In about an hour.
All right, I'll be there to let you in. Now, look, I'm still in charge of security, or all bets are off.
I rushed these photos over from the lab as soon as possible, sir. They're pictures that Ruth Habib took at the carnival.
Thank you.
I'm truly sorry about losing Miss Standish on that airplane, sir.
Charlie, I allowed the excuse of drugged coffee on an airplane. Just once.
Thank you. Here's George Marion, sir.
out. She saw him at the staging area.
Right.
Mr. Mustache? Do you know him?
Yes.
Who is he?
I don't know. I'm gonna meet Elena. Run a check on this photo.
Right.
Mrs. McMillan, I have 3 weapons, and I can kill you in less than a second without using any one of them. Now, I'm going to let you go. Don't scream. Where is he?
My husband? Well, he's at the office, I guess.
He's gone out. Where? Come on, he's wherever they're holding Elena Standish, isn't that right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I suppose so. He didn't tell me where that was. He doesn't tell me his business problems. I guess he thinks I'm not interested. Isn't it just like a man?
You're telling the truth, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I am interested in his business.
I mean, you really don't know where he is. But you will soon. I'll bet he calls you every afternoon. You'd be crazy not to. I'll wait.
Isn't this a rather unusual place to hide somebody?
Well, the police schools recommend the out-of-the-way flea bag, but that's baloney. Give me a class place every time. A hitman sticks out like a midget at a football banquet. I've got her in a corner room. I've got a man walking the hall. That's 2 walls to the outside, 1 to the hallway, and 1 to the room next door.
Yours?
Of course.
Well, it's only fair to warn you. My housekeeper has a violent temper, and there's no telling what she'll do when she comes in and finds you here.
Your housekeeper's on vacation this week.
Yes, that's right. She's at her sister's. She always goes to her sister's when she's on the wagon. You see, her sister doesn't allow a drop of liquor in the house. That's the danger. That's what I'm trying to warn you about. There's no one more violent than Mildred when she's on the wagon. I suppose that doesn't scare you very much.
It's an animal wagon. Identical to the real thing as far as size, shape, floor drain, and even the smell. We cleared it with Habib, had it repainted to match his equipment. Nobody will give it a second glance. Now, there is one modification. With this window, you'll be able to see everybody through it, but nobody will be able to see you. It's a window from the inside and a mirror from the outside. And it's even bulletproof.
I don't know, Mac. Venice is a genius at disguise, and I haven't seen him for years.
You may not be able to recognize him, but still you might be able to help by simple process of elimination.
I suppose since Mark went to so much trouble to kidnap me, we're going to have to make it count for something, huh?
Would you like a drink? A glass of water? A sandwich? How about a game of 20 questions?
How about a little quiet?
Right. A little quiet.
It's a good plan, Mac. You should never have left the organization.
But?
Yeah, but. Has it occurred to you that we might be looking for somebody who doesn't exist? Suppose Venice is dead.
Then who killed Marion?
Maybe. Just maybe Marion killed Marion. All right? So Venice isn't buried where he's supposed to be. Well, there have been phony graves before, but that doesn't prove that somebody's alive. But Marion wanted the satisfaction of taking Venice. Now, when he found out there was no Venice...
No.
Prussic acid is a suicide's weapon.
What about the man on the balcony?
Ordinary sneak thief. He came in, saw the body, ducked out when you came in.
Then why the message with the Venetian blind? He was trying to tell us it was Venice.
Mac is right, Mark. When Marion spoke to me, he was not despondent or unhappy or in despair. He was just certain.
Sure. But when his certainty went wrong, then for him, everything was wrong.
Mark, the Venetian blind.
I've been thinking about that. Now, you know that Marion was always a joker, always a life of the party. But maybe he wasn't playing with a full deck. Now, if he killed himself because he found out that he was wrong, it'd be just like him to go out with a joke that'd convince us he was right, just to keep us puzzling for years.
I say we go on looking till we know, one way or the other.
Okay, when do we go snooping?
I think it should just be Elaine and me.
Just like old times.
And Sergeant Enright. He'll ride shotgun.
Mac, I can't give up my responsibility.
You're responsible here. I'll be responsible there. Let's not scare Venice off with a platoon of agents.
All right.
I'll pick you up at 6. That ought to get us to the carnival about 7. Doesn't give us much time. May I use your phone?
Be my guest.
Wait.
Hello?
Hi, honey. I'm...
Oh, Mac, I'm so glad you called. You didn't forget about Mildred's graduation tonight, did you?
Huh?
From her cooking class. Tomato and olive aspic.
Well, I don't think so. I'm with...
Oh, Mac, Mildred will be heartbroken.
I'm with...
Well, you'll just have to do the best you can.
Okay. There's an outside chance.
Good.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, I'm no mind reader. Where is it?
Oh. Oh, it's at the Epicure Club.
Oh, terrific. I'm at the Regency right across the street. I'll be right with you. I gotta go. Goodbye.
I love you too, darling. Goodbye. That wasn't fair. He only told me where he was because I happened to mention the name of that place across the street.
Lady, I'm in a hurry and I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah, you haven't heard the sugar. I'm going to admit, I don't want to put you in any extra trouble.
Father Regan?
Commissioner, what a pleasant surprise.
Is it?
Is it what?
Either one. Pleasant or a surprise. What are you doing here?
Well, I don't know that I'm required to account for.
Not required, Father, but it would help.
I've been with the banquet manager, Mr. Kelso, about a benefit dinner for St. Barnaby's. The carnival people have generously offered to furnish the entertainment.
How long has this been planned?
Oh, all very last minute. I'm not the best organized man in the world. By the way, how's your investigation? Do you still believe your friend Mr. Marion was murdered?
Do you believe otherwise?
Well, it occurred to me that perhaps Mr. Marion found the man he was looking for.
And didn't turn him in?
Is it possible that he found his man and killed him?
It's possible. And then what?
The joys of vengeance are almost solely those of anticipation. Afterwards?
Suicide? Father, no offense, but I've had a law enforcement man tell me Marion may have killed himself because he didn't find Venice. Now you're trying to tell me that he killed himself because he did find him. Now, I'm not looking for a suicide motive. I'm looking for a murderer.
Hello, operator. Please dial the Regency Hotel for me.
The what?
The Regency Hotel.
That number can be reached by direct dialing.
Yes, I know, but I can't dial and tie up.
We're all very busy. But if you wish me to dial for you, very well.
Thank you.
What is the number, madam?
I don't know the number.
The number can be obtained from your telephone directory.
Yes, I know, but I can't reach my telephone directory.
If you are in need of additional directories, your
Operator, will you give me information?
furnish you. Directory assistance, dial 411.
I can't dial 411. I can't dial anything. You will have to dial.
Do I understand, madam, that you wish me to dial 411 for you?
Operator! Mrs. McMillan! Must be seeing things. Here, I thought I was sober.
Call the Regency Hotel.
What?
Call the Regency Hotel.
Oh, first I'm going to call the police.
No, call the Regency Hotel. Mac is there with Elena Standish.
You're right. This is no matter for the police. We'll handle this in our own way.
Yes, Father Regan's function. Citrus segments, top sirloin of beef.
How long has this been planned?
It started just this morning. Frankly, I'm against it. The thought of all those carnival types dribbling sawdust through our lobby. They never learn to
Hey,
like their
that's
shoe.
for me.
If you don't mind, the house phone's over there. I'm expecting a phone call from a wedding party. Chicken Veronique, risole potatoes, peas au gratin, and chocolate chip ice cream. Chocolate chip.
Hi, Sally. Of course I knew it was you. What?
Mac, it's Selena. She's been stabbed.
I'll call you right back. You're sure you're all right? Okay. She alive?
It's a nasty wound, half-inch deep, I say.
I told you I was going on the wagon. When I come home and find you like this, I wonder if it's worth it. Boy, I could use a drink.
No, Mildred, you've gone 4 straight days without a drink, haven't you?
I've been at my sister's 4 straight days, haven't I? And straight is the word, believe me.
4 days. That must be some sort of a record for you. I thought you said you were going to be gone all week. How come you came back? Couldn't you take it?
Oh, listen, I had to get out of there. It wasn't the drinking. I mean, I was doing fine. But I couldn't listen to my sister sober. You know, it's funny. When I was drinking, I always thought she was so amusing. She sounded just like me.
She didn't sound like you this time?
No, that was the depressing part. She still sounded exactly like me. Only nothing she said was funny.
Lucky. I just missed the rib cage, the lungs. An inch to either side, a little deeper. You understand, a wound of this sort, I must report.
You just did. I'm Commissioner McMillan.
Of course. Look, she's quite all right, but I'd recommend against any strenuous activity.
We'll take good care of her. And, Doctor, I'd appreciate it if you didn't report this to anyone else.
Yeah, no way. Bye.
Elena?
How do you feel?
Weak, but lucky.
How did it happen?
Well, I was next door, and she was dressing, and I heard a thud and a moan. When I got in here, she was on the floor, next to the window on her side. That was in her back. Now, you may want your guys to check prints on that.
Yeah.
She said that while she was dressing, she saw something.
Let me.
No, you're supposed to.
No, I can tell you. While I was dressing, something flew past the window and dropped, like a body, or as though someone had jumped or fallen from above. So I did what anybody would do. Any fool. I went to the window and I looked out. Now, I must have heard that knife coming because I remember turning, and then I think I passed out.
We got her on the bed, and then I called the doctor. Then I had the sidewalk checked below. Nothing. Now, if something like a hotel pillow was thrown from up above, a passerby must have walked off with it.
What about the rooms above?
Well, the room directly above is occupied by a salesman from Cleveland, but he appears clean. He was out.
And further up?
There is another floor, but it was vacant. There doesn't seem to have been anybody in there.
But it must have come from one of those rooms.
Well, it doesn't prove that someone didn't go in, does it?
Well, the guy that planned this is not going to leave any souvenirs.
That's what I mean.
The carnival.
No, we can take care of that in a day or two.
No, tonight. Don't you see? He doesn't know whether he's killed me or not. That gives us the advantage. Mark, may I have a moment alone with Mac? Sit down, Mac. Sally told you, didn't she?
What?
That Venice and I... that there had once been something between us.
Oh, and how could she know a thing like that?
I could tell by the way she looked at me. She's a woman, Mac. Women sense these things. And I'm a woman, too, and I know that she knew. She did tell you.
Well, she may have told me a little. I didn't believe her.
Ah, that's a mistake, Mac. You should always believe her. I loved him. God help me, I held him in my arms and I loved him.
But it doesn't matter. When George Marion came to ask me for help, I wanted to help him. I knew I should want to help him.
You did help.
Yes, but part of me wanted Venice to escape. She told you that too, didn't she? When is it over, Mac? When does somebody stop loving somebody?
I think when he tries to kill you.
Dear Mac, cool and clear-sighted as always. Then try to understand that it must be tonight. While I still hate him. Tonight, Mac, please. Thank you.
Now just watch and relax. If you see anyone that interests you, speak up.
Does that apply only to spies?
What about them? Habib, he owns the carnival. The photographer is his daughter.
The father? It's hard to say. A little bit old, but that would be easy enough to do. There's something about the cheekbones.
It will make him impossible.
Haven't you checked out the backgrounds of the people who work here?
As far as we were able. Naturally, Venice would assume the identity of somebody who had to be clean. Kill and impersonate. Let's just concentrate on the physical types. The man with the cape, Kovacs.
I don't think so.
Are you sure? He does a human fly act, probably capable of scaling a hotel wall.
I really don't think so. The hands are different. Smaller.
Scratch Kovacs. What about the man with the sunglasses?
Impossible. Too much jaw.
Scratch sunglasses. What about her, Madame Olga?
A woman?
She's advertised as one.
Well, her records.
We don't know they're really hers. Didn't you say Venice escaped to England, disguised as a woman?
Not that woman.
Scratch the madam. What about them? The one on the left is Aldo, a knife thrower.
No, I think he's too small. And the shoulders, they... Who's that? The man on the right.
I don't know. Yes, I do. It's, Harper. He runs a Ferris wheel.
You see, he's just the right shape. And his head. But the walk is all wrong. There was more spring to Venice's step.
Oh, a man can change his walk.
But why would he, unless he knew he were being observed?
Yes?
Sykes here, Commissioner. I found something extremely important that I think you should see.
Can it wait?
No, sir, we can't wait. Well, as you always say, you never know when one clue scientifically advanced may be the one clue that will get the job done, as it were. This is it, Commissioner.
All right, I'll be there. My lab man, it leaves nothing to chance.
Good. Venice leaves nothing to chance either.
I'll be at this number. Lock the door behind me. If you need Sergeant Enright, knock on that wall. And make sure he identifies himself.
Mac, you're mothering me.
I am. I'm sorry.
I haven't lived this long allowing strangers into rooms with no exits.
I assume you won't mind if I worry a little.
No, that'd be good for you.
Oh, please, Mrs. McMillan. You're forgetting my condition. Sober.
Sorry, Mildred. Why doesn't Mac call? Where is he?
Well, since we're asking questions, why don't we start with the big one? Who's he with?
Elena Standish.
Oh, yeah, the former spy. Swell.
He's worried about her. He thinks her life could be in danger.
And you?
I'm worried about Mac.
Good thinking.
Who's the man with a mustache? What does he want? I'm sure that he's following Mac and Elena right now.
Well, I certainly hope so. It's better than being alone together, isn't it?
Mildred.
This is what I raced all the way over here to see? I thought you said you cracked the case.
Actually, the crack is here, sir, in the handle of the knife. This is a Syrian camel skinning knife, possibly Iranian. There's an extensive literature on knives, which I've studied them all.
Sykes.
Sir, would you mind looking at this, please? You will observe that the lead core in the curved handle visibly cracked. A hairline fracture, you might say. True, nevertheless. How do you suppose that happened?
Probably stepped on by an overweight dromedary.
Oh, hardly, sir. I would have been able to detect some part of the animal's hoof. Is the commissioner joking?
The commissioner is not sure. What about the pills?
Oh, I have just finished testing the pills.
Good. What'd you find?
Each contains 27 grams of cellulose, 4.2 gram essence of...
Poison?
No, sir. No poison at all.
Do you mean to say that you called me all the way down here just to show me a crack in a knife?
Well, it's a recent crack, an irregularity on the murder weapon. Think of it, sir. Police lab, site here. Yes. It's for you, sir.
Yes?
Mac, the Ferris wheel man, Harper,
What about him?
he just went by again, and he's walking differently. More bounce. Springy.
Where'd he go?
Well, that's the funny thing. The Ferris wheel is closed, but he went over to it, and I haven't seen him leave. Should I send the sergeant over to look?
No, that would leave you alone. I'll be right over.
saw the wheel stop and go, and I thought it was you.
Elena.
Open up! Are you all right? Was there something by the Ferris wheel?
A dead man. I got my first good look at him. It's Miles Eisner.
But Miles was killed years ago. I mean, we saw.
We thought we saw.
You mean he's been alive all these years and nobody knew?
One person knew.
Maybe I was wrong, but it was necessary. Everybody assumed that Eisner was dead, and that gave me an agent who could work black. The only people who knew that Eisner was alive were Eisner and me. I was his control.
And you couldn't trust me enough?
I don't operate on trust. I operate on need
and
to
it
know.
didn't bother you all these
years? Of course
years?
it bothered me.
Well, not enough to tell me. I have a need to know now.
Eisner found out that Marion was going after Venice, and he was furious, wild with rage. It should have been his assignment. One unknown hunting another. He begged me to take Marion off the job and give it to him. When I refused, he disappeared.
What?
That's right. He broke away from me. I think Eisner followed Marion, thinking Marion would lead him to Venice, and then he could finish off Venice without worrying too much about technicalities.
Because he didn't exist, officially.
When Marion was killed, Miles latched onto you. He must have thought you were getting close.
I wasn't.
You didn't think so. Eisner did. It looks like he was right, doesn't it? You were close.
I get it. Eisner was the man with the mustache. Only you didn't figure it out because he...
Because he lost his hair and grew a mustache.
Right.
And besides, I didn't get a good look at him. Why did George Marion die in a chair?
You'll figure it out, darling.
Figure what out? Assume Venice tried to kill me. Why? Because he thinks Marion told me something? Because I brought Elena here? Something that happened in the carnival? Why did Marion die in a chair?
Going around in circles.
Any questions? Problem is which one to work on first.
Pick one. Flip a coin. Leave it to chance.
My lab man leaves nothing to chance.
Good. Venice leaves nothing to chance either.
Observe that the lead core of the curved handle.
Venice leaves nothing to chance.
Mac.
Neither did George Marion.
What are you mumbling about? The last thing I said was flip a coin.
Yes, you did. And I love you. Call Sergeant Enright. Tell him to pick up Aldo, the knife thrower, and bring him to Elena's room quickly as possible. And get the knife from Sykes and bring it along with him. And thanks.
Anytime. Why did George Marion die in a chair?
Nobody can say that.
Just walk right in.
Right
off. Wherever they go. I mean, this joker just walks in and says, hey,
They're
I'm
people.
getting you straight. No, they have rights. They have rights.
Quiet!
It's over.
I just wanted to talk to Aldo.
What do you have against him? That he's a knife thrower?
I have nothing against him.
Aldo is not a suspect?
No, I need his expertise. There are no fingerprints on this knife, so we can handle it. Can you throw this knife?
If it's a knife, I can throw it.
Accurately.
It's a very old knife. Made for skinning, I would say, not throwing. Curved handle. Lead-filled, I would say. But it could be thrown accurately. I mean, I could hit a target with it. But the curve and the weight could cause the knife to flip over in flight.
Could you control it?
With practice, I could make this knife land point first almost all the time. Say 8 out of 10 throws.
Not good enough.
But I was hit by it. I didn't imagine this wound in my back.
Your wound is real enough. Nevertheless, the knife was not thrown.
What do you mean it wasn't thrown? It had to be thrown. She was alone in the room. Are you saying that somebody got through my security and then walked out again? Are you saying I did it?
If anybody threw the knife,
It was Venice. But nobody could be sure the knife would land point first. As Elena reminded me, Venice leaves nothing to chance. Venice did not throw the knife. The knife was not thrown.
Then how did Elena get that?
The attack on Elena came rather late in the game. Let's back up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. Sergeant. Sir. You up to a little role playing?
Anything to say, sir.
Right. Your name is George Merriam. You are alone in your room at the Sands Inn. You've just swallowed prussic acid, but you don't know it yet. You take it in a capsule. When you feel it, you'll know what it is. You feel it. You now have 30 seconds left to live. You now realize a spy named Venice poisoned you, and you know who Venice is because you know who had access to your capsules. You grab for a pen on the table. But it won't write. Your friend McMillan is due any minute. So how can you get a message to him that'll implicate Venice?
Venice. Venice. Venetian blind.
Very good. Now, take a look at this. You fell on the floor, but Marion's body is sitting in a chair.
Well, I did exactly what you told me.
And you were perfect.
So Marion is seated in a chair.
And the Venetian blind is on end.
Not only that, but his body is braced up against it, so it'll stay that way. Now, why go to all that trouble if the message was Venice did it?
That wasn't the message.
Not all of it. The Venetian blind represents Venice. And it was on end. Upright.
Venice is upright?
Pretty close. Mark, it works in English. But remember that funny fractured German Marion used to use? Venice is on end. Upright. Standing up. Venice is standing.
Venice is standing. Venedig steht.
No, fractured.
Venice standish is. Venice is standish.
That's right. Venice is Elena Standish.
Mac, that's the worst joke since George Marion changed the washroom signs at Russian Secret Intelligence. You are serious?
There never was a Venice. You created him years ago when you became a double agent. When your missions were betrayed, sold out, you blamed it all on Venice, a man only you had seen.
I don't believe you're saying this. I mean, it's ridiculous. And there's no way to prove it, one way or the other. I mean, you know that.
Your creation of Venice was brilliant. It assured you of perfect retirement with honors. All of your missions were successful except for the few he betrayed, which, of course, nobody would blame on you. So with no further need for him, you let us believe he had died. Unfortunately, Marion discovered the corpse was a phony and set out after Venice. You couldn't let that go on, could you?
Why not? What could he find? He was looking for a man who didn't exist.
Marion was a skillful agent. If he'd looked long enough, he'd realize he was looking for a... What was it he used to say?
A tall, short...
Yeah. No, a tall, thin, short, fat, bald man with curly hair. Marion used to say that if you start looking for him, you better give a hard look at the people giving the description. He'd have figured it out. He'd have reached that point.
So I killed George Marion. He died in San Francisco while I was in Taos, but I killed him? How? Oh, I know. I flew in on my broomstick and I told him that the pills were candy.
When you found out he was after Venice, you knew you'd have to kill him. So when he came to your place, your dog set him to coughing and sneezing, and he had to take one of his pills, and it all fell into place for you. You got a hold of his capsules and put poison in one of them.
Oh.
Now, wait a minute. She couldn't have known when he'd take it.
All the better. She'd given him a lead to Venice that guaranteed him a tour of every carnival in the country. They all have animals. So he took his pills, and by, he took the one that counted, far away from her.
And the suspects would be carnival people?
Of course.
You're not taking this seriously, are you?
How did she get the knife in her back?
Oh, I'm surprised at you. I thought every intelligence man knew that trick. Incidentally, this is the part that cracked the knife handle. Now, this part takes real guts. She backed into this, released the door, and walked to the window with a knife in her back. Something like this.
That's quite enough. I want to see everybody's hands at all times. And I do hope I don't have to demonstrate the alternative.
As one professional to another, Elena, you've got the wrong hostage. I mean, if I were escaping, I'd take with me a high police official. He wouldn't scream or get hysterical. And I would, in effect, have the opposition commander under my control.
Are you volunteering? I assume you will be kind enough to call and remove your operatives from the lobby.
Where to, Elena?
Cab to the airport.
Then,
You charter a plane.
to take us where?
You don't have to say where. You're the commissioner. It's an emergency.
That's right. You won't have to name a destination until the plane's in the air. Then where? If you were an agent for a foreign government, probably be a boat waiting for you in some lonely harbor or another plane waiting somewhere. But you've got no homeland to go to. It's only a question of which country will put you in prison for life or which country will execute you.
Keep moving, Mac.
No.
I'll kill you.
You're gonna do that anyway, aren't you? If it isn't here, it'll be someplace else, probably with a lot of people around. At least here, there'll only be one more casualty. But remember, once you've killed me, you've got no hostage.
And that leaves Erickson's men free to kill you, probably before you get out of the lobby.
You knew how all this would end, didn't you? You planned it, Mac. All of it. Getting the people to look at the knife. Giving me the chance to. And you tricked me.
Let's face it, it's over. You're a spy with no cover. You've got nowhere to go. It's all over.
Well, I told you you'd figure it out. There's only one thing that I can't figure out. Usually when you figure it out, I can figure out how you figured it out. Only this time, I can't figure it out.
Okay. What can't you figure out?
Well, Elena killed Eisner. How did Elena kill Eisner? I mean, she was sealed in the animal cart and he was at the Ferris wheel.
Easy. She wasn't sealed in. The world was sealed out. When you're protecting somebody, you guard against break-in, not break-out.
Yes, but Enright would have seen her walk out the door.
That was a real animal cart we used. Had a drain in the floor. All she had to do was lift the grill off, climb out from underneath. She got back in the same way.
I never could have known that.
You know, when we were at her house, she lied to us. I should have had it, but you almost got it.
I did. You mean when she told us about that last meeting with Venice?
A spy never tells another spy when he's retiring.
But I told you that it wasn't spy to spy. I told you that it was man to woman.
Makes it all the more unbelievable. When a man ends a love affair, he doesn't go to all of that trouble to arrange a meeting with the lady. He goes to all that trouble to avoid it.
You know you're right.
Of course I'm right.
How did you know all of that?
Oh, in my younger days.
Yes.
I was an insatiable reader. Hey, wait a minute.
What?
How did you know I was right?
Well, in my younger days,
Yes.
I think we read the same books.
I live for the day, Charlie, when you'll know what I've been through.
Monica, what are you talking
The
about?
cells, the bars, the disgrace, especially the disgrace. I want you to know the hell I've lived through.
Monica!
No, don't. Please, don't kill me. Please, don't kill me.
She's dead!
Stay out, everybody. Sally, call a doctor.
Dr. Thursby!
Stay back, please. Stay back. Get me an ambulance. Hurry.
What happened?
Somebody shot her.
This gun's been fired. One shot.
I didn't fire it, Commissioner. Doesn't anybody believe me?
I want that room thoroughly investigated. Policemen on guard around the clock. No one will go in and out of that room unless I know about it. I want the guest list, the name of the caterer, photographer, and florist, and anybody else involved in that reception, no matter how remote.
Commissioner,
I didn't shoot her. I know you didn't, Charlie.
you do?
How? You just told me.
Oh. Is that all you have to go on?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not much, is it, sir?
You're her husband?
Her ex-husband, yes.
We did everything we could.
I'm sorry, Sergeant.
You send the necessary papers to my office, Doctor.
Sure.
Well, I guess we'd better go down to headquarters and book me.
Sergeant Mack would never have you arrested.
Well, I'm afraid he has no choice, Mrs. McMillan.
He's right, Sally.
I was afraid he was.
Could I see Monica Fontaine, please?
I'm sorry, sir. She died a few minutes ago.
this is the first time a cop ever turned in a report on himself. Well, there it is, sir, from start to finish.
Sure that's everything?
Yes, sir, that's exactly the way it happened.
Something's got to be missing.
It's all there, sir. I had invited Monica to La Palette for drinks that evening. You and Mrs. McMillan were going to meet me there.
I wonder what she's like.
What makes you think we're meeting a she?
Drinks at La Poulette? Come on, Mac. That's a little steep for Sergeant Enright unless he's trying to impress somebody. He did say he invited us.
Oh, yes, he was very clear on that point. But he has reason to celebrate tonight. How often do you get named Cop of the Year?
Probably not more than once a year.
Well, you haven't changed at all, Charlie. And that's as depressing a statement as I ever hoped to make.
Well, I'm sorry if I disappoint you, Monica. You look very good.
I do. It's no thanks to you. I'm held together by a thread, Charlie. A thread. These last 15 years have been quite a trip. Quite a trip. But as rough as it's been, I'd take it over life with you again, sweetheart.
The Enright party. Yes. They are very much here, Commissioner.
Thanks, Alonzo.
You see, I was right. She is a she.
Look at that face. Not one real thought in it. Will you stop grinning at me, Charlie?
I'm not grinning, Monica. That's the way my mouth is.
I had forgotten how much I always hated it. And every other part of you.
Hello, Sergeant. Congratulations. We're so pleased. Nobody deserves an award more than you do.
Thank you. Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan, this is Monica Fontaine.
Commissioner of Police? Well, what is this, a cop convention? You know I always hated cops, Charlie. I can't imagine why anyone would want to give an award to one.
I suppose you're wondering who Monica is.
Oh, no, we'd forgotten all about her.
Wish I could. Guess I never will. I even kept hoping that she'd come with us to the ceremony tonight.
You know, Sergeant, she doesn't seem quite right for you. How did you happen to meet her?
She's my wife.
Your wife?
My ex-wife, yeah.
I didn't know you were married, Charlie.
Well, I've been divorced a lot longer than I was married. Monica left me 15 years ago. I saw her today again for the first time. You know, it's funny. When she phoned me this morning, I thought it was to congratulate me on my award. But of course, she never even knew about it.
She live here?
No, Los Angeles. She came up here for the wedding of her niece. Our niece. I'm sorry I had to put you two through all this.
Oh.
Don't apologize, Sergeant. I'm just glad you didn't have to go through it alone. You might not have made it to the ceremony in time.
Hey, that's right. The cameras are waiting.
Oh, no. I'd forgotten about all those cameras. I'd almost rather face Monica again.
You must be a very happy man tonight, Sergeant.
Oh, yeah, real happy.
Oh, well, how about letting us see some of it?
Oh, we are. I'm grinning right now, actually.
Oh, really?
That's my grin.
Poor Sergeant Enright. He's still in love with his wife. It's right there on his face, isn't it?
I'd say no what makes you say that, but I'm sure you're going to tell me anyway.
Well, why else would he want to see her again? Then she had to go and ruin his big moment. She didn't even congratulate him.
You know, it's a shame you're so happily married. You are, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the makings of a great ex-wife.
Well, that's something you'll never know for sure.
Good night, everybody. Okay, come on, let's go this way. All right, fellas, come on, let's get a few shots over here. Excuse me, honey, we'll just step right back. Come on, you get over there. All right, get around here. Now, when you shake hands with them, go ahead. Shake hands, the two of you. That's it. All right, fellas, go ahead.
I really don't mind working this weekend, sir, if there's something I can do for you.
I thought your niece's wedding was tomorrow.
Yes, sir, it is. But I only have to put in an appearance.
I take it you're not looking forward to the festivities.
Well, I was looking forward to it, sir. I'm very fond of my niece. It's just that I'm afraid that a wedding will bring out the worst in Monica.
That wasn't the worst we saw last night?
No, no, sir. Monica was just getting started last night. You see, sir, Monica believes that our marriage is to blame for everything that's gone wrong in her life.
She thinks I'm the one that stood in the way of her career.
From what I saw last night, I can't imagine anyone standing in her way.
Well, I did refuse to move to Hollywood, sir. We were both very young. She thought all you had to do was to move there to become a star.
So she went without you?
Mm-hmm. But I thought that once she found out what it was like, she'd come right back.
But how can she blame you for her failure? You didn't stop her from going, did you?
Well, she said that if I had believed in her talent, I would have gone with her. Well, if her own husband didn't believe in her, how could she be expected to convince strangers?
Well, she's gotten you to swallow that argument. She's a pretty good actress. Look, why don't you just go down to the wedding and get it over with? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't I drop by the reception, have some assignment for you, and get you off the hook?
Well, I couldn't ask you to do that, sir.
No, you couldn't. That's why I offered. Well, I think we better find the cop of the year. Bigger office.
Oh, Uncle Charlie, I'm so glad you could come. I don't think I really would have felt married if you hadn't been here.
Well, you have all it takes to make it legal right here.
Oh, and we're so proud of your award. Except in my book, Uncle Charlie, you're cop of the century.
Well, I'd like to borrow that book when you finish reading it.
We'll see you later.
Okay. You look beautiful.
I guess he's had enough. We better get him out of there.
He hasn't been in there 20 minutes yet. You know, he's probably enjoying himself just because you don't like wedding receptions.
Sally, there isn't a man in there who's enjoying himself. Come on.
Well, after all these years, it must be Captain Enright or Major or whatever it is they call cops.
No, it's just Sergeant, Mr. Fontaine.
Just Sergeant? Wow. I always said you'd never amount to much, Charlie, didn't I, huh?
Yes, you always did.
Say, have you seen Monica since she's been back in town?
We had a drink together.
You drinking now, Charlie?
No. Not really.
There's just been no improvement in you at all, has there been?
No, sir, I guess there hasn't been.
Sergeant.
Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan. What a nice surprise to see you here.
I'm afraid I have some bad news, Sergeant. I'm going to have to pull you away from here. That is, if your friends will excuse you.
Oh, I don't know anyone here who'd miss him at all.
Mr. Fontaine, I'd like you to meet Commissioner and Mrs. McMillan. This is my former father-in-law.
Let's just say I'm Monica's father, huh? Let it go at that.
Yes, I think that's enough to say. We met your daughter yesterday.
And she certainly does take after you.
Well, I guess we better be going. I'm sure what work there is. Can't wait.
Oh, excuse me. I'm terribly sorry.
No, it was my fault. I walked right in.
Of course it was your fault, Charlie. And before you go knocking down any more professional men, let me introduce you to this one. This is Dr. Thursby. He came with Monica. And this doctor is Monica's first mistake, Sergeant Charles Enright. His friends are Commissioner and Mrs. McMillan.
Nice wedding.
Yes, it is.
Well, they're not guests here, you know. They're just collecting funds for the policeman's ball.
It's nice to meet you, Doctor.
Sure is. Oh, look it.
What's that? Oh, thank you, Mrs. McMillan. If I walk around with a feather on my lapel, people will think I'm a vet.
Well, I know you hate to leave, Sergeant, but we really must go.
Leaving so soon, Charlie?
Hello, Monica. Yes, we were just going.
Oh, you can't go yet. I've been looking for you all over. Let's go someplace we can talk. You will excuse us for a moment, won't you?
I hope this won't take too long, Monica. I can't keep the commissioner waiting.
That's just like old times. Nothing matters but your work.
Let's have a drink.
Good idea.
Do you remember the day we got married?
Of course I do.
This room reminds me of our marriage. Drab, barren, lifeless, unused.
I was the one who wanted children, Monica.
Children. Ha! You're interested in nothing but being a cop.
Let's not go into all that again, please, Monica.
Why? Because you have to go? Well, it's always been you, Charlie, hasn't it? Everything's always been more important to you than I. Well, go. Go on, leave. Leave me, just like you did last time.
You're the one who went, Monica.
I left because I had a career waiting for me, all the world waiting. Only without you, you know what they did to me. They didn't want my talent. Without you to protect me, they turned me into a tramp, Charlie. And when they were finished with me, they locked me up in a mental hospital for 3 years. 3 years!
I'm sorry, Monica. I didn't know.
Aunt Monica, Uncle Charlie, please open the door.
Every day. Every day when I was there, I thought about you, Charlie. I thought you'd come. I thought you'd get me, Charlie. You were too busy playing policeman. Cop of the year. Big shot cop of the year. A guy like you can be destroyed, too. You are not that safe.
Monica, you need a doctor.
I've seen doctors. Doctors can't help me. I have to help myself. How would you like to be alone, abandoned, have everyone point an accusing finger at you? I live for the day, Charlie, when you'll know what I've been through.
Monica, what are you talking about?
The cells, the bars, the disgrace, especially the disgrace. I want you to know the hell I've lived all these years.
Monica!
God, no, don't. Please, don't kill me. Please, don't kill me. Oh!
She's dead.
Stay on, everybody. Sally, call a doctor.
Dr. Thursby.
Stay back, please. Stay back. Get me an ambulance. Hurry.
What happened?
Is she... Somebody shot her.
This gun's been fired. One shot.
I didn't fire it, Commissioner.
I was wrong about you, Charlie. I just didn't believe you had it in you.
I didn't shoot her. Doesn't anybody believe me?
All right, let's go over it once more.
We've been over it and over it, Commissioner. I've told you everything.
Are you sure there isn't anything you've forgotten?
Well, if there is, I've forgotten it.
Well, it just doesn't make any sense. Nobody could have gotten in or out of that room.
Haven't you forgotten something, sir?
What's that?
You haven't booked your principal suspect.
Don't be so anxious, Charlie. I don't want your record to show you were booked for murder if we can avoid it. Let's wait until we get the ballistics report.
I appreciate that, sir, but anybody else would have been booked by now as routine procedure.
Well, if it'll make you feel any better, I'll book you.
Well, I don't mean to sound pushy, sir.
Well, let's wait for that ballistics report, okay? I can't believe that bullet was fired from your gun.
Then how do you explain the fact that my gun had just been fired? I mean, if I didn't do it.
Sergeant, whose side are you on anyway?
I am on yours, sir.
Good. When was the last time you fired your gun?
This morning at target practice. That's how I know the paraffin test will be positive.
Commissioner? Well, maybe I better come back when the commissioner's not quite so busy, or perhaps you could come to the lab, Commissioner, or maybe we could meet in a coffee shop.
Whatever you have to say, Sykes, you can say it in front of me.
Do you want me to read all that, Sykes, or do you want to tell me?
Everything's right there, Commissioner. Every question is answered right there.
Come on, say it, Sykes. Just say it.
Well, of course, we all knew the paraffin test would show positive.
Go on.
Sorry, Sergeant. The bullet that killed the deceased came from your gun.
Are you sure, Sykes?
Positive. Look for yourself. Check the gun filings, the barrel of the gun, the whirls, the swirls. We've never run a double check quite like this one. There's no mistake, none.
You do a good job, Sykes.
Yeah. I'm afraid so, Sergeant.
It still doesn't make any sense.
Well, you'll just have to book me now, Commissioner.
Sergeant? I don't have anybody to call. "15 years in a cardboard box, and it all fits." Oh, those pictures aren't mine. They were hanging there when I first came to the office. I never did like them. Thanks for posting the bond for me, sir.
That's one of the few things I can do, Sergeant. Look who's still waiting. I thought you were going home in a taxi.
Do you realize how many men have tried to pick me up while I was waiting? Right in front of the police station. You know what I needed, Sergeant, was a good cop.
You mean you've been sitting here all this time?
Yes, to give you a personal escort back to our house. I called Mildred. She's got macaroons in the oven. They're your favorite, aren't they, Sergeant?
Hey, that's a good idea. You could spend a night in the guest room and then in the morning have one of Mildred's breakfasts.
Well, that's very kind of Mildred and of you, but not tonight, thanks. I'll see you at the arraignment in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Charlie.
Good night, Sergeant.
Sergeant Charles Enright, special officer assigned to Police Commissioner Stuart McMillan, was booked within the hour for the murder of his former wife, Monica Fontaine. Sergeant Enright was the recipient of the city's top police honor, the Policeman of the Year award, just 2 nights.
Well, Sergeant, what luck finding you home. I was afraid I might be stuck in the neighborhood for a couple of hours by myself.
Oh? How's that, sir?
Well, I decided to try that all-night service station you're always recommending so highly. They're greasing my car.
Well, would you like me to give you a ride home?
Well, I thought I'd wait here, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. But I don't think I'm likely to be very good company tonight.
Drink up. After a couple of beers, we'll both be better company.
Well, sir, if you're going to stay here, why don't you tell that other man to go home?
What other man?
The one outside, watching me. And you might tell him he's not doing a very good job. I spotted him when I was unlocking the front door.
Sergeant, I didn't assign anybody to watch you.
You didn't?
No. And I don't see anybody either. Are you sure you did?
Well, I know surveillance when I see it. Look, Commissioner, if you didn't assign somebody, who did?
Oh. By the way, got some good news for you. Mike Bolger has decided to defend you.
Mike Bolger?
Well, at least you could say his name with a smile on your face.
Commissioner, I can't afford his kind of defense.
We can't afford anything but his kind of defense. Mike Bolger hasn't lost a case since 1946.
Well, here goes his record.
Mac, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure.
I've been up with this case all night, and I think the only chance we've got is for him to plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter. That way, we might be able to get him off with 1.5 years. As a matter of fact, with his record, I'm sure of it.
You want him to plead guilty?
Look, Mac, at my prices, I could stretch this one out so that even I couldn't afford me. Let's get it over with and save everybody.
Well, Mike, he's innocent.
All right, sounds fine. But remember, if he's pronounced not innocent, he'll get 20 years to life.
All rise. His Honor, Judge Clement Williams presiding.
I suppose, Sergeant, you are aware of the charges against you?
Sergeant Enright is aware of the charges, Your Honor.
Very well. And how do you plead, Sergeant?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Since we're dealing with a case where a man's reputation is at stake, I'm sure everyone is most anxious for an early preliminary hearing. We'll therefore set that hearing for 1 week from tomorrow, if there are no objections.
No objections, Your Honor. Will you set bail at this time, Your Honor?
No. The court will wait until after the preliminary hearing before entertaining any decision on bail.
May I address the court, Your Honor?
State your name and what capacity you wish to address the court.
Stuart McMillan, I am here as amicus curiae, Your Honor.
And for what purpose, Commissioner?
Your Honor, Detective Sergeant Charles Enright has served as special officer
Attached to the police commissioner for as long as I've held the post. I can attest to his outstanding character. His record will verify him to be one of the best men in our entire department. Prior to this incident, he was without blemish. In view of these facts, I'm asking the court to reconsider its position in refusing to set bail at this time.
I appreciate your interest, Commissioner. However, I remain reluctant to set bail because this is not only a capital case, but one which has already received an unusual amount of publicity.
Your Honor, let me assure the court that I will personally assume full responsibility for Charles Enright.
Are you prepared to post bond at this time?
I am. I have a bail bondsman with me.
Very well. Set bail at $100,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I know what you're doing, Commissioner. You're going after a whitewash, but it's not going to get you anywhere. I know how you cops stick together. You hired Bolger, you posted bond, and you'll do everything you can to get your friend off. But it won't work, Commissioner, because I won't accept anything but justice.
Neither will I. So what's your interest in the case?
My name's Alex Fontaine. I'm Monica's brother.
Well, I appreciate your desire for justice, Mr. Fontaine, so I'll forget what you just said, because it sounds an awful lot like a threat.
Don't forget it, Mr. Commissioner. Think about it a lot. Because if the law doesn't get Charlie Enright, I will. And no one, you included, is going to stop me.
Alex Fontaine is a former Green Beret, skilled marksman, and an expert in karate.
Well, he sounds like a walking weapon. Can't you arrest him for making threats like that?
Only if he puts it in writing and mails it.
Why don't you send him a self-addressed stamped envelope? You don't think he'll really try and hurt Sergeant Enright, do you?
Well, I'm worried enough to put a tail on him. And Enright.
Okay, what's the matter with the food?
Nothing.
Well, now listen, fasting isn't going to help anybody. Come on, Commissioner. At least enjoy your new terrace. Even though it did cost you more than it's worth. What's money, right?
Mildred, we were talking about Sergeant Enright.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all love him. But let's face it, he's done for.
Mildred?
Well, facts are facts. Who else killed her? I love him, and I'll miss him.
Mildred, he had no reason to kill her. He had no motive.
Oh, come on, Mrs. McMillan. There was motive all over that room. 15 years of bad marriage.
That's exactly my point, Mildred. Nobody kills his ex-wife after 15 years.
Look, don't waste time convincing me. Concentrate on the jury. Me? I love the guy.
She's just like a jury, isn't she? That's the way they're gonna be.
I'm afraid so. It just wasn't so airtight. There's got to be a flaw somewhere.
My father said there are no perfect crimes.
Yeah, just unsolved ones.
What exactly are you looking for, sir?
Anything unusual, Jensen. Anything unusual.
There's not much hope, sir. There's just no way anybody could have gotten into or out of this place. It's too bad. You know, Enright is a pal of mine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And a great cop. But I knew Monica from the old days. Of course, a guy doesn't like to tell a buddy, but she had a track record when he married her. If you get my meaning.
You make it very clear.
Of course, I guess she had it coming to her. It's just too bad Enright didn't plan it better.
I can't help it. Everything incriminates him. There's just no doubt about it. This bullet came from Enright's gun. Now, here's the autopsy report. Look at it. Just look at it. Take a look. Everything incriminates him. You don't know how badly I wanted to be wrong on this one, Commissioner, but you know me. I don't make mistakes. I'm just so thorough. I even checked her dress. Do you know why? There was a thread fragment on the bullet. I checked the thread to see if it matched the threads on the dress. It does. There's no question about it. I feel as though I'm convicting the sergeant single-handedly.
Sykes.
What?
Wait a minute. Take a look at this.
I've already examined it.
The hole's jagged.
So?
Enright uses round-bore bullets.
You're right, Commissioner. This should be a round hole. In fact, any bullet should make a round hole. Now, that's really very interesting. Let me look at this. Now, that's definitely jagged. Commissioner, this hole should not be jagged.
Check the wound again. Blood type. Check everything.
How can this hole be jagged? It can't be jagged. Yet it is jagged. Now, that's really very interesting.
What would make a jagged hole instead of a round hole?
It's not much of a clue, is it, sir?
Yeah, but it's something, Charlie. This is the first thing we found that raises a question. Up until now, everything we found incriminates you. But now we have something that's out of the ordinary. Something that indicates Monica couldn't have been killed the way she seems to have been killed.
Do you think a jury will buy it?
No, I don't think a jury will buy it, but it's a beginning. Ooh, corn and boiled potatoes. Why can't I ever convince Sally to have the both? You expecting company?
No, sir. I just love to cook. Only when I'm on duty, I don't have time to cook or to eat. Now I have plenty of time, and I'm not hungry, and this isn't a very good location for a restaurant.
Yeah, well, now that we've gotten our first break, everything will fall into place.
You really call this a break, sir?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I appreciate you stopping by like this, but a jagged hole in a dress isn't going to mean anything to anybody but us.
Do you happen to remember why you won the Cop of the Year award?
Yes, I do. I cracked the Levinson case.
And how did you do that?
I finally found a clue.
And now you found the clue to the Fontaine case.
It's nothing.
It's a clue.
It is something. You're right. First clue on the Levinson case wasn't much bigger. You care to join me, Commissioner?
I thought you'd never ask.
.3:30, reception begins. 4:03, Enright arrives. 4:06, Enright greeted by Vicky and Ted. 4:12, Fontaine talks to Enright. 4:20, McMillan's arrive. 4:23, Dr. Thursby introduced. 4:26, Monica asks Enright to enter locked room. 4:28, Monica and Enright enter room. 4:36, shot is heard. 4:37, McMillan enters room. Monica shot. Enright, gun in hand. 4:38, Dr. Thursby examines Monica, calls for ambulance. 4:57, Monica, Dr. Thursby enter ambulance. 5:26, Monica operated on, pronounced dead at hospital by Dr. Wilson. And it just doesn't get us anywhere.
Well, we'll just have to keep going over it and over it and over it.
We've been going over and over and over it, and no matter where we start, it always ends up the same. I'm the only person who could have killed her. I'm having a hard time convincing myself that I didn't.
You know, Sergeant, what we haven't done is give enough thought to the other witnesses.
What other witnesses? Monica and I were alone.
Yeah, you were alone. She was shot, yes, but not afterwards.
I don't see what you're getting at, sir.
Neither do I. Except look at Dr. Thursby. He enters our sequence of events here, when you bumped into him as you were leaving. Continues on through the sequence, only until here at the hospital.
How does that help us?
It's our second inconsistency. Thursby's a doctor, right? He examined Monica at the scene of the shooting, was with her in the ambulance, but not in the hospital. Now, it's standard procedure that a doctor who assumes a patient in stress never leaves the patient. He never even waited until she was operated on. He just disappeared.
That's right, sir.
What do you know about him?
I met him at the reception. That's it.
Then I think we should find somebody who knows this Dr. Thursby.
Sergeant Enright, Commissioner. Oh, come on in.
We're sorry to disturb you on your honeymoon.
Oh, that's all right. You're not disturbing us.
Of course not. Hello, Uncle Charlie. Commissioner, can we get you some coffee? Here, let me pour you some.
No, thank you. Your breakfast just arrived, so go ahead and enjoy it.
Oh, dear, I'm afraid the coffee's cold. Ted, will you order some?
No, thanks. We just had a big lunch.
Oh. Well, we're just about to order lunch ourselves. Somehow we never got around to breakfast. Well, you know how slow room service is. You're hungry when you order it, but by the time it gets here, you're on to something else.
We'd like to ask you a couple of questions about Dr. Thursby.
Dr. Thursby?
Monica's friend. We hadn't met him ourselves until the reception.
Do you know if he was the only doctor at the wedding?
Yes, he was. That's funny. Monica asked the same question.
I want an APB on Dr. Felix Thursby, probably of Los Angeles.
You know, sir, for the first time, I think we're onto something.
Good.
But what?
Well, Charlie, I sure thought you'd be in jail by now.
I'm out on bail, Mr. Fontaine. And I didn't kill her.
Oh, sure you didn't. Oh, say, will you get me that magazine with the pretty blonde on the cover?
I'm glad to see you're taking your daughter's death so well, Mr. Fontaine.
Oh? Well, my daughter died the day she married your friend here. Thank you.
What do you know about the man she was with at the reception, this Dr. Thursby?
Well, I know he's not a cop, and that's enough for me.
Are you sure he's a doctor? He left her at the hospital, never even bothered to check on her again.
Did he really? Well, that doesn't surprise me. Poor Monica. She never has had much luck with the men in her life. As for his being a doctor, I was talking with him at the reception about my son's radius. Alex broke his radius skiing, and it never healed right. Thursby thought I was talking about a leg bone. How's that for a dummy, huh?
Do you know where he lives?
Well, he was staying at the Lamplighters. I doubt he'd be there alone now. Monica was picking up the tab.
Movie star scrapbook. Interesting hobby for a man your age.
Yeah, isn't it? You know, actually, I picked this up from my wife. She and Monica used to paste these things in by the hour, with her telling Monica all the time someday it'd be her. Well, who knows? Maybe one of the newspapers will print a nice little obit picture. If they do, I'll paste it in somewhere near the back. Why not?
Well, don't you see?
I haven't looked.
What? Oh, you're right. Take a look. Gunpowder grains all around the hole in the dress. They couldn't have been made by a gun 20 feet away. That does it.
Does what?
Breaks the case. If Enright were across the room, he couldn't have killed her.
Sykes.
It's as simple as that.
Sykes, the prosecution will tell the jury she was shot at close range and fell back due to the impact.
Sorry, Sergeant. I tried.
But I was 20 feet away.
I believe you.
Commissioner, they told me you were here. Hello, Enright.
What is it?
Well, go ahead, Chapman. How much worse can it get?
You've been saying there's no motive. I believe I found one.
Motive? For me to kill her? What motive?
Sergeant, did you take out an insurance policy on your wife when you were first married?
Yes, I did.
Do you continue to make yearly payments?
Yes, I do.
Are you the beneficiary to the tune of $50,000?
I am.
A policy a man has made payments on for 15 years after being divorced. On the life of a woman who hated him. Would you call that motive, Commissioner?
That is a retirement policy for when she reaches 60. I kept up the payments because I felt that I owed it to her. So that she'd have something when she reached old age. I'd forgotten it had a death benefit. I really had.
You were the surgical nurse during the operation when Miss Fontaine died.
Yes.
Is this the bullet that was removed from the deceased?
It is, yes.
How can you be certain?
Well, I marked and tagged it right here.
Thank you, Miss Summers. No more questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
The witness may step down.
I call Police Commissioner Stuart McMillan.
Raise your right hand. State your name, please.
Stuart McMillan.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
I do.
truth, so help you God?
As As you're aware, Commissioner, we have substantiated that the deceased was killed by this bullet. The attending doctor verified this was the bullet removed from the deceased's body. The attending surgical nurse just corroborated that testimony. Would you please tell us if you recognize this gun?
I can.
Whose is it?
Sergeant Charles Enright's.
And where were you at the time of the shooting?
In the next room.
What did you hear from the murder room? Would you please tell us that?
The shot.
No. Before the shot. Isn't it true that you heard Sergeant Enright and the deceased arguing?
Objection. The district attorney is leading the witness.
Your Honor, I withdraw the question. I certainly wouldn't want to lead the commissioner into anything. Commissioner, would you please tell us in your own words what you heard before the shot?
A voice.
Coming from the murder room?
Yes.
Whose voice?
The deceased.
How would you describe that voice? Happy, angry, frightened?
He's asking for a conclusion, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Your Honor, I can substantiate any conclusion the commissioner might have with a dozen other witnesses. I'll move on to the next question. Would you tell us what did you hear coming from the room before the shot?
I heard the deceased scream.
Scream what? Were there words?
Yes.
Would you please repeat them to the court?
Oh, God, no. Don't. Please don't kill me.
Would you please repeat them again a little louder?
Oh, God, no. Please don't. Don't kill me.
She screamed them.
Yes.
Pleading for her life.
Objection.
Sustained.
Now, Commissioner, would you tell us what you saw and what you did after the shot?
I broke through the locked door. Sergeant Enright was standing with a pistol in his hand. The deceased was lying on the floor some 20 feet away. I took the gun from the sergeant, smelled it. It had recently been fired. And there was an empty cartridge in the chamber.
And this gun? The gun that ballistics has already proven fired the bullet. Is this the gun you took from Sergeant Enright?
Yes. It has my initials on the tag.
Was Sergeant Enright alone in the room with the deceased?
Yes.
And what did your subsequent investigation prove? Could anyone else have entered that room and fired the shot? Or could that shot have been fired from outside the room?
No. Neither could have been possible.
People rest, Your Honor.
The witness may step down. Does the defense wish to present any witnesses at this hearing?
No, Your Honor. Not at this time.
Then I order Charles Enright remanded to court for trial on the 12th day of March, 1973.
Your Honor, what about bail?
The evidence being as strong as it is, I shall have to reconsider whether bail will continue. We will speak in chambers later.
It's not fair. It's just not fair that Sergeant Enright should be in jail. What did the judge think? That he was going to run away?
Well, you can't say the good sergeant didn't know what the consequences would be when he shot her. Oh, I'm not condemning him. She probably had it coming. I just wish she'd done a better job of planning it, that's all.
Don't stand on ceremony, Mildred. Pour yourself a drink.
Well, maybe just a quick one. Take my mind off the spinach souffle. I always get so nervous waiting for it to rise.
Maybe I should go out and watch it. At least it would take my mind off of Sergeant Enright.
Well, at least with the souffle, there's some suspense involved. I mean, we all know Sergeant Enright did it, poor man.
Mildred, how can you say a thing like that?
Well, you caught him red-handed at it, didn't you? When Inspector Gerard had to investigate a locked room murder, there was nobody in the room, just the body. I mean, Sergeant Enright let you catch him at it.
Who's Inspector Gerard?
Oh, you know those ghastly murder mysteries that Mildred's always reading.
There is nothing ghastly about Inspector Gerard. Surely I've mentioned him to you, Commissioner. Lives alone with his faithful housekeeper, and maybe there's something going on between the two of them, but we're never quite sure.
Oh, of course I remember, Mildred. I can't imagine it slipping my mind.
Mildred, how can you read those things? Don't they give you nightmares?
No, the newspapers do. I mean, no offense to the Commissioner, but all those unsolved crimes.
Tell me, Mildred, in any of those books you read, does the faithful housekeeper ever get murdered?
Well, as a matter of fact, in The Rooster Cried Wolf, the upstairs maid was witness to a murder, and the chauffeur had to kill her to seal her lips forever.
I know the feeling.
Well, you see, in that one...
Mildred, you know, I'm getting a little nervous about that spinach souffle. Maybe you better go out and give it a check.
Okay. Maybe after dinner. Over a brandy. I'll tell you how Inspector Gerard solved his locked room murder.
I wonder if the good inspector ever resorts to locking his faithful housekeeper in the basement.
I don't know. A locked room murder. That's when no one's in the room but the victim and the door's locked, right?
Right, except in our case, it's a victim and someone who didn't do it, Charles Enright. If we could just get the sequence in a different order, we might be onto something.
You mean if what we saw and heard wasn't really what we saw and heard in the order that we saw and heard them?
You have a wonderful way of clarifying things, yeah.
Well, first we heard Monica arguing. Then we heard a shot. No, then we heard a scream, and then we heard a shot.
Then I broke into the room, and Charles Enright was standing with a gun in his hand.
Then you told me to call for a doctor, and I called for Dr. Thursby. He examined her, and he called for an ambulance.
The ambulance took her to a hospital where she died later on of a bullet wound.
This never gets us anywhere. It's a dead end every time. Poor Sergeant Enright.
Well, we know one thing. Monica's dead, and that means somebody wanted her dead.
Commissioner, I'm convinced that the hole in this dress was not made by a bullet, but by something that left gunpowder grains like a bullet. If you'll notice, a bullet fired into the fabric will leave a hole something of this nature, or perhaps this nature, or possibly this nature. I fired bullets from 12 different guns into the fabric, and not one bullet has left a hole that was jagged.
Very good. What do you think did make the hole?
Not a bullet.
What?
Well, whatever is not a bullet.
Well, what?
Hello, Mac.
Captain.
Hi, Sex.
Kevin?
Here are all the facts that we've been able to gather on the case so far. Maybe something in it may help.
Thanks.
But if ever I'm handed an ironclad case, I'm afraid this is the one.
You should stop sounding quite so sure of yourself. Stand a better chance if we could locate this Dr. Thursby.
I've just added 6 extra investigators to the case. By the way, I recommended that Enright be released on bail pending trial. Maybe you can help.
Got the feeling I'm going to owe you a drink.
You know, this is going to be the first time I've ever won a case from you. I won't even feel like celebrating.
Don't worry. I'll think of something to keep you from marring your record.
Since we got nothing from the florist, the photographer, and the caterer, what do you hope to find here?
Anything. We'll settle for anything today.
Oh, yes, I handled the Fontaine wedding, and I am delighted that you were impressed enough to inquire, but then, of course, that's how I get most of my business.
Sorry, Mr. Davidson, but we're not here as customers.
Oh?
We're police.
Oh.
I'd like to talk to you about the Fontaine wedding.
Well, as a matter of fact, this is going to work out very well, gentlemen, because I have been wanting to talk to someone about that little affair myself. Would you honor me by coming this way, please? You see, the damage was unbelievable right through here, gentlemen. I haven't finished taking my inventory yet, but, well, as you can see, there were broken dishes and, well, there's your torn linen. And the insurance man was just here, and I showed him this, and he just couldn't believe it. Oh, they're going to pay all right, but they'll cancel my policy. You know that, don't you? Oh, and look. Gentlemen, this happens to be a first.
First what?
Well, a first for destroying pillows. A first place. Some fool must have been smoking cigars, 2 at a time. I mean, just look at that hole right there.
It's on both sides.
Oh, sure. It's burned all the way through. And this is a feather pillow, the very best of down.
What's the damage?
Oh, on the Fontaine wedding, I'd say about several $100s. In fact, it's the last time I'm going to cater to the Irish. You're not Irish, are you?
I'm talking about the pillow.
Oh, the pillow is irreparable. I mean, it's a total loss.
I said how much?
How much? You want to buy it? Well, all right, $20. How about 20? I mean, as you can see, most of the down is still in it. Thank you, sir, very much. I couldn't interest you in a tablecloth, could I? I mean, at best I can see this one spent a couple of hours in the powder room, but if your hang-up is damaged goods, you might just love it. Oh, they're very strange people.
Gunpowder burns?
Let's hope so. Or I'm out $20 for a $2 pillow. You know, Sergeant, I've got one of those very funny feelings.
Well, why don't you go your way? I'll go mine.
Looking for me, Alex?
Or are you way to target practice?
Think I'm looking for a chance to shoot Charlie, Commissioner? I've already had it. All I had to do was pull the trigger, and it would have been bye-bye Charlie.
But you didn't pull it.
He's still alive, isn't he?
Look, suppose I keep you informed, step by step, as this case progresses. In return, no vendetta against Charles Enright.
Sure. I give justice a chance, why not? But if I have to, I'll also give it a helping hand.
You were absolutely correct, sir. A bullet was fired into this pillow.
Which explains how they could have gotten the bullet out of Enright's gun.
Right, Commissioner. The gunpowder burns on the pillow you brought in match almost perfectly with the second pillow. Approximately the same residue on each.
Good work, Sykes.
Thank you, sir. I went to the rental place myself, for the second pillow. I wanted to buy it, of course, but the guy there said, no, we don't sell them, we only rent them. I said, well, that's okay, but you're not going to be too happy with it when I bring it back. And he said, well, if they're not happy with it when you bring it back, you're going to have to pay for it. I said, that's what I'm trying to do right now. And he said, nope, we only rent them. Got a receipt here somewhere for it. I don't know if I don't find that receipt, I'm not going to get my deposit back from that guy. Unless you'll vouch for me.
Mac, I'm afraid I still have a pretty strong case.
Not at all. The bullet in the pillow proves somebody wanted to frame Enright. I thought they were going to fix it.
If that bullet had been put in another gun and fired, it would have changed the ballistics markings. Now, how could they avoid being changed?
Well, now there's progress for you. You're asking questions now instead of providing all the answers.
It's because I've got an awful lot of questions.
And I'm convinced the answers are somewhere in Monica's past.
You may be right, but most of her past is in Hollywood.
Commissioner, I have your reservations. Your flight to Los Angeles leaves at 4:02.
Thank you.
Do you know what just finally dawned on me? If somebody wanted to kill Monica, then why did they wait until she was in a room with Sergeant Enright, a police officer?
You mean someone wanted to implicate him?
Well, that would mean that the motive wasn't just to kill Monica, but to try and destroy Sergeant Enright.
I got a puzzle for you. Suppose someone got a bullet out of Enright's gun and killed Monica with it.
How could they do that without changing the ballistic markings?
You sound like Chapman. Now, there are many ways it could be done, but what I don't understand is how it could be done in front of a smart, professional officer like Sergeant Enright and with no one else in the room. See if you can figure that out while I'm away, okay?
Okay. If I get it, I'll call you collect. I'm gonna miss you.
Wasn't necessary to get a court order, Commissioner. I'm only too glad to cooperate.
Thank you.
Monica Fontaine's hatred of her husband was extreme and unreasonable. She blamed him for everything. Her failure as an actress, her breakdown, even her unsuccessful love affairs. Scotch, Commissioner?
Well, thank you.
Over the last couple of years, her hatred of him became an obsession.
Were you able to help her any?
Not really, because she didn't really want help. She came to me to avoid being locked up in a mental institution again. She feared that more than anything. She blamed it on her husband. Her fantasy was that someday he'd be punished as much as she felt she had been. Sorry, there's no ice.
Well, that's all right. Was he the only one she wanted to see punished, or were there others?
Oh, yes. She wanted to hurt in some way any man she'd ever been in contact with. She'd been a patient with me for about 3 years. She blackmailed a producer into paying for the sessions. Seemed to enjoy having blackmailed him. Gave her a feeling of power.
Then there might well be someone in this file who wanted her dead.
Possibly. But why go to the trouble of killing her? She had less than 6 months to live anyway. Cancer. I see you didn't know that.
No. Doctor, if she were dying, would it be possible for her to plan her own death and also use it to destroy your ex-husband?
Yes. She was capable of that. In fact, it would fit into her neurotic pattern rather well.
All right, cut. Print it. All right, let's move in for the close-ups.
Mr. Seaton, this is Stuart McMillan, Police Commissioner from San Francisco. Mr. McMillan, George Seaton.
How do you do, sir?
Hello, Commissioner.
I appreciate you taking the time, Mr. Seaton.
Oh, not at all. It's always a pleasure to have a little law and order on the set.
Yes, I was watching your shootout. What's the name of the film?
Showdown.
Well, it looks like the real thing. Except, of course, in my business, they don't usually get up again.
Yes, but directing a Western's a bit like playing God. You keep bringing them back to life. And nothing brings an actor back to life faster than a call for a close-up.
Well, how do you make it look like a man's been hit by a bullet?
Well, there are tiny explosive charges that are fitted under the actor's clothes. They explode outward, and this helps to prevent any body burns. And a small pouch of fake blood is released by the explosion. It looks fatal, but nobody gets hurt.
Well, I think I know of a case where someone did. Could I talk to your special effects man, Whitey Dobson, for a moment?
Well, of course. Whitey! Whitey, come here. Whitey, this is Commissioner McMillan from San Francisco. He'd like to ask you a few questions and find out how you do it. Now, if you'll excuse me, Commissioner, I've got some work to do over here.
Thank you, Mr. Seaton.
What can I do for you, Commissioner? You want to see a few tricks?
No, first I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, Whitey. Did you ever know Monica Fontaine?
Monica? Oh, yeah, I know her.
Would you mind telling me a little bit about her?
Well, I haven't seen Monica in about 5 years now. When she first come out here, well, she couldn't get a job as an actress. I got a job as a stunt girl. I taught her the whole business. After she learned everything I could teach her, why, she dumped me.
What was she like?
Oh, she was mean. Violent. Why, she almost brained me one time. Oh, if Monica hated you, look out. Me, I wasn't important enough for her to hate. She wasn't even blackmailing me.
Quiet, please. This is a take.
Excuse me, I had to shoot a man.
Roll 'em. All ready? Action. All right, cut it, print it.
Whitey,
Would it be possible for a man to set the detonator off himself instead of you having to do it from here?
Why, sure. We rig self-detonators on actors all the time.
Well, how would you set it off?
Well, the most common way is to rig it so he just raises his hand, you know?
Yes, she raised her hand. In fact, that's why I thought that somebody else had just come into the room.
Then that's how she detonated it.
But, Mac, she was shot. With a bullet from my gun.
Suppose that came later. Suppose the initial gunshot, the one in the locked room, was fake. Which is, of course, the only way it could have happened if the good sergeant had his gun in his holster at the time. Then, after faking the gunshot, Monica was examined by the only doctor in attendance. A doctor she brought with her for that very purpose.
But what about the wiring she would have had to wear to fake a gunshot? Nothing was found at the hospital.
Because nothing was on her by the time she got to the hospital. Dr. Thursby removed all the wiring in the ambulance and stashed it in his medical bag.
Then she had to be killed in the ambulance.
And there goes your theory, Mac. Poof. Because if we follow your theory to its logical conclusion, the only place that bullet could have been introduced was in the ambulance, right?
Right.
Now, you're telling me that she was shot in the ambulance with Enright's gun, which by then was already in your possession, which might explain why the ambulance attendants didn't hear the shot.
She wasn't killed by Enright's gun. She was killed by a bullet from Enright's gun, which was obtained by firing the gun into that pillow.
What kind of a weapon was used to fire the bullet into her body? The grooves on the bullet indicate beyond a doubt that they were fired only from Enright's gun.
I don't know how it was done yet, but I'm convinced the bullet from Enright's gun was fired in that ambulance.
All right. Even if I go along with that, which I don't, you still haven't explained how they got the gun. The sergeant himself says it was never out of his possession.
I'll prove it was out of his possession once we find Thursby.
We've looked everywhere. There just isn't any Dr. Thursby.
Right. And I doubt if his name is Thursby, and I doubt if he's even a doctor.
Well, then we'll never find him.
Now, what do we know about him?
Nothing.
Wrong. We know Monica had to have an accomplice for her to carry out her plan.
You mean somebody to pose as a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, maybe the man's an actor.
No, I doubt that. Taking the gun out of a police sergeant's holster isn't that easy. Something that requires a very special talent.
Welcome, Commissioner. You can have your choice of tables at this hour.
I'm not here to eat, Alonzo. I need your help.
Anytime. You know that. I owe you one. In fact, I owe you two.
Who's the best fingerman in this part of the country? Make it the whole country.
Hi, Commissioner. I have no idea. I've been out of the business a long time. Now, if I could help you, I would. You know that.
Good. Try to keep that in mind when you look at this picture.
I really wish I could help you. But you know how it is with pictures. They all look alike.
Yeah. Well, what about this picture? Make it any easier? It's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Benjamin Franklin. That's a sure good likeness.
And what about the other fella?
His name is Thompson, but he's legit now. He's been out of the business as long as I have.
Where is he?
Vegas, probably. The last thing I heard was that he had an act there. Small time, but it keeps him alive.
Thank you, Alonzo. You just helped save a man's life.
Anything for a pal.
And Ben Franklin.
Is this yours? Yes, your wallet, sir. Yes, and your keys? Oh, keys. Say, is this your glass case here? That's right. Uh-huh. One more thing. Is this your handkerchief? What a sweet-smelling one, huh? All right, sir, you can take your seat now, if you think it's still there. Did you forget these, sir? Huh? Here, pull up your pants. You look like a slob. Let's take this off. Here, I'll help you with your suspenders. That's all right. Here, pull up your pants, for heaven's sake. You're in public. I'll help you with your suspenders. You put on the long ones, I'll put on the short ones. There we go. All right, reach right over there. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Yes. Put your jacket on. We'll have you back to your table in an hour and a half. All right. There we are. All right. Uh-oh. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking what they're thinking. You're thinking I took your wallet again. Is that right, sir? Is it still there? Yes, it seems to be, yeah.
Everything seems to be in its proper place.
Same place,
right,
yeah.
All right. Now, I haven't taken anything at all. Absolutely nothing this time.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's good. Are you absolutely sure, sir?
I'm positive.
All right. Well, then, on your way out, will you please try to avoid the maitre d'? You see, we have a rule here about wearing your undershorts at all times. All right. Let's have a hand for our volunteers. It's been a real sport. All right, now, one more volunteer, if you don't mind.
Well, here's an eager customer. I haven't even said what I want you to volunteer for.
I was wondering if you could remove this gun from its holster without my knowing about it.
Well, we're a little late, folks. They'll be dancing in the parking lot.
I knew you'd figure it out. I told her we'd never get away with it. But she threatened to expose me. That's why I did it. Monica knew all about my past. I told her she was crazy. Our plan was just nuts. I wanted no part of it. But she insisted. She said if I didn't help her, that she'd go to the Vegas authorities. She'd tell them everything she knew about me. I'd never work again.
How did you shoot her? The marks on the bullet are from Enright's gun.
Fired the bullet from a zip gun. It has a smooth barrel. It doesn't leave any marks in the bullet.
You have to kill her.
I didn't kill her. I just held the gun. She pulled the trigger herself. That's how much she hated you.
Can you imagine hating someone so much that you'd plan your own murder just to frame them?
No. I can imagine loving someone so much that you'd die to save them. I guess that marriage just brings out the worst or the best in people.
Sometimes both at the same time. Did I ever tell you about my first husband?
First husband? I never knew about any husband.
What, you know you believed in marriage, Mildred?
I believe in anything, Commissioner, as long as it's with the right man.
Mildred, are you serious about having been married? You never mentioned it.
Everybody's entitled to a pass, Mrs. McMillan.
Well, I hope my past is behind me.
Boy, I hope mine's still ahead of me.
Ooh, corn and potatoes. That's my favorite combination.
I figured it'd be the right thing for a working man, especially since Mrs. McMillan mentioned that the commissioner mentioned that you mentioned it was your favorite combination. Believe me, I would never have thought of it on my own.
Well, I haven't had a banquet like this since, since...
Since the last time.
Yeah. And speaking of corn, I'd just like to say... Well, I'd like to say that friends who'd stick with a man through all of this...
Well, Sergeant, why wouldn't we? Well, it never entered our minds that you were guilty.
Well, I just can't help thinking of where I'd be right now without you, and
Speaking of corn, Sergeant, why not eat it before it gets cold?
Em bảo em không cấm chị cho ai vào phòng, nhưng vào phải có ý thức với cả cái xe đấy ấy. Nó không thuộc trong cái nhà đấy, nên là tất cả các chỗ khác người ta cũng không cho để đâu, với cả chỗ mình cũng thế thôi. Nên là nó mà ấy thì để xe ra cái chỗ trường học, tiểu học và gửi 1 hôm nếu mà có ngủ lại. Còn cái giày dép của chị ấy, chị Hạnh bảo là mấy lần thấy chị đi giày dép lên phòng lên cầu thang ở đấy. Cởi cái giày ra xong rồi cầm, không được đi giày lên cầu thang, cầm từ trên phòng xuống mà đi xuống dưới đi. Với cả chị Hạnh bảo là cái tin nhắn của chị Hạnh ở trong nhóm ấy, chị thấy là xe, chị đọc chưa? Em hỏi tin nhắn trong nhóm chị Hạnh, chị đọc chưa? Bây giờ chị thấy tin nhắn rồi thì dép lại đi. Bảo là xe của em. Chị Hạnh bảo là như thế. Thế chị có nói gì với chị Hạnh chưa? Cái gì cơ? Chị nói bé đấy, em chẳng nghe những gì. Mình đang dùng màu vàng để tô tiếp bức tranh nhé. Mình đang tô phần tai của chú Sóc ấy trước. Vậy là mình đã dùng xong màu cam để tô bức tranh rồi nha. Và tiếp theo thì mình sẽ lấy màu xanh nhạt để tô vòng tròn ở bên này nhé. Và đây là màu xanh nhạt mà mình sẽ cần để tô. Vậy là mình đã dùng xong màu xanh nhạt để tô rồi. Và tiếp theo thì mình sẽ dùng màu xanh đậm hơn để tô vòng tiếp theo nha. Và đây là màu xanh đậm hơn mình sẽ dùng để tô nhé. Đến là màu xanh lá cây. Mình sẽ lấy màu xanh lá cây để tô phần lá của bông hoa này nhé. Và tiếp theo là màu vàng nha. Mình sẽ cất màu xanh đi, lấy màu vàng để tô phần nhụy hoa. Phần nhụy hoa này khá là bé nên là mình tô rất là nhanh. Mình vừa tô xong rồi. Tiếp theo thì mình sẽ lấy màu cam để tô phần tay và phần chân của chú nhím này nha. Ok, và sau khi mình tô xong màu cam rồi thì mình sẽ lấy màu tím để tô lại nha. Mình sẽ tô phần mũi. Mình sẽ dùng màu tím để tô phần mũi của chú nhím này. Và phần tay và phần chân của chú nhím luôn nha. Mình vừa tô xong màu tím rồi, giờ mình sẽ cất màu tím đi và lấy màu xanh nước biển nha. Mình sẽ dùng màu xanh nước biển để tô phần còn lại của bức tranh là đã hoàn thiện rồi nhá.
ও তুমি
ডরাইছেন?
ডরাবো কেন? মাগের এরকম আটকা মায়া মনের সামনে চলে আসলে তো একটু চিন্তা লাগেই। আর কালকে আবার তোমার মামার সাথে চ্যালেঞ্জ, বইলা আইসো শেষবার মতো চুল দাঁড়িয়ে আশ্রয় আসতে।
শুনেন, কালকের খেলায় আপনি হারবেন।
বাবা, কনফিডেন্স দেখছো মেয়ে।
যদি না হারছেন তাহলে কিন্তু বললাম এটা দিয়ে আমি আমার হাতে আপনার নাম লিখুন।
মানে?
মানে তো তখনই বুঝবেন যখন এটার দায় আপনার উপর পড়ব। সরেন।
আরে ভাই, নাম লিখবা মানে? কি মুসিবতে বললাম, জিততে না পারে এখন 2 নাম্বারই। কি করছিস?
এটা কি করলি তুই মামা বলতো? শেষ পর্যন্ত ওই হাবলু মামার কাছে।
সরি বলছি তো, মিস্টেক হয়েছে। আর এটা খেলা না, খেলাতে হার জিত থাকি।
এই কথা তুই বলতেছিস? 3 বারের চ্যাম্পিয়ন নিলয় বলতেছে এই কথা, শেষ পর্যন্ত খেলায় হার জিত থাকেই।
হ্যাঁ বলতেছি, এবার হয় না আগামী বার হইব। আর শোন, আমাদের না বয়স বেশি হয়ে গেছে, ঠিক আছে? এখন এটা জুনিয়রদের করা কাম, আমরা অনেক সিনিয়র হয়ে গেছি।
এই দাঁড়া জুনিয়র, হ্যাঁ? কোন অ্যাঙ্গেল ওই হাবলু মামার তো জুনিয়র মনে হলো কত দেখি? এই কথা শোনার পরে ওই হাবলু মামা সানফ্লাওয়ার তেল মাইরা ঠিক ঠিক করে হাসবো। তুই এমন একটা কাজ করছিস মামা, এলাকায় মুখ দেখানোর মতো অবস্থা থাকবে না।
টাকা দিতেছি, একটা কাজ কর, বোরকা কিনা পিন্দা ঘুরতে থাক, ঠিক আছে? এলাকায় আর মুখ দেখাইতে হইব না।
দাঁড়া, আমার মনে হইতেছে কেউ তোরে তাবিজ করছে। তুই কখনো তো এই কথা বলার ছেলে না, কি হয়েছে কত?
কোনো তাবিজ টাবিজ কিছু না। আর শোন, আনোয়ারের রহিম বাবুর ছেড়ে আনতে পাঠাইছিলাম, কই হয়?
ভাই আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। আনোয়ার কই?
ভাই পাটায় কই জানি গেল গা ভাই? কামটা কি হলো ভাই? কালকে গেমটা এটা গেলেন?
দাওয়া হইছে, কাজের কথা আসি। লাইলির পার্টিতে কাচ্চি করে দিব।
না ভাই পারুম না, মাফ করে দেন ভাই। আপনার লেগে আমার জানা হাজির, ওই মেয়ের লেগে আমি ভাই কাচ্চি বাচ্চি রাখতে পারবো না ভাই।
কি কই? রহিম ভাই মাথা ঠান্ডা, মাথা ঠান্ডা। তোমাদের ছাড়া হইব না তো বিষয়টা। এমন কাচ্চি খাওয়াই ফিরব, মনে করো 7 দিন যাতে কেউ বাথরুম থেকে বাইর না হইতে পারে। বুঝছো না বিষয়টা? পারো না? যাও এবার রেডি করে গিয়া যাও তাড়াতাড়ি।
একটু বড় খবর হইব।
তোমরা আমগুলোকে বইতা।
আরে আমরা তো খাবোই, আগে আপ্যায়নটা করে নেই। পুরান ঢাকার ট্রেডিশন তো আপ্যায়ন করা, কি মামা?
এই তো দুষ্ট লাইনে আছো, এরকম লাইনে থাকলে তো কোনো সমস্যা হইতো না। খুব তো কইছিল খেলার কথা, এখন বুঝছো খেলা কি?
এখন একদম ক্লিয়ার মামা। আপনার একটু কাচ্চি দিই। আলু দিই, আলু আলু।
না না আলু না, গোস্ত দাও, গোস্ত দাও।
এই যে গোস্ত দিই।
অনেক মজা হয়েছে। এই লাইলি দাও, লাইলি দাও।
আলু
ল ল ল ল লাইলি ল। তুমি লইবানি?
খাইতাম, মজুর তো।
তুমি একটু খাও।
সবাই মিলে আমগুলোকে খাইতাম।
আরে খাবো তো, খাবার তো আছে।
লোকে খাও।
আরে মামা খান তো, আছে কিছু লাগলে বললেন কিন্তু।
মজা হয়েছে।
আসলে
না তুই লো, গোস্ত লো।
এইবার লইয়া কয়বার হয়েছে?
ভাই 5 বার।
তোমার এত করে কইছি যে একটু কম কম খাও, মাংনা খাওন পাইলে হুদাই হাম করে খাও।
দুলা ভাই আমি তো মাগনা খাওন খাই ভাই, আমরা তো বাজেতে জিতছি আর আমি তো পরিমাণ মতোই খাইছি। বিশ্বাস করেন দুলা ভাই, আমি নিশ্চিত ওরা খাওয়ানোর মধ্যে কিছু মিশাইছে। লাইলিও তো পরিমাণ মতো খাইছে, ওরা তো পেট নামছে শুনছি।
হ্যাঁ, মানুষের খায় কাম নাই, তোমার খাওয়ানোর লোকে কিছু মিলাইছে।
ভাই আপনি জানেন না, ওরা অনেক ডেঞ্জারাস, অনেক ডেঞ্জারাস দুলা ভাই। ওরা প্রত্যেকটা ধরে ধরে ফাঁসি দেওয়া উচিত দুলা ভাই। আমি খালি একটু সোজা হয়ে দাঁড়াইলি, তারপর দেখেন আমি রাজপথে নামবো, রাজপথে নামবো, আমি আন্দোলন করবো অগো ফাঁসির লিগা।
যাও যাও, তুমি তোমার কামে যাও, আমি তোমার লেগে কেড়ে বয়ে থাকো।
আপনি একটু বহান ভাই।
Và đây là màu vàng mình sẽ dùng màu vàng để tô tiếp nha. Vậy là mình đã dùng xong màu vàng để tô quả bóng này rồi. Tiếp theo thì mình sẽ dùng màu vàng để tô phần đỉnh của cái quả bóng bên cạnh này nữa nha. Và tiếp theo thì mình sẽ dùng màu cam để tô tiếp nhé. Và đây là màu cam nha. Xin chào mừng các bạn đã trở lại với kênh YouTube của mình ngày hôm nay. Và hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn cho các bạn tô màu một bức tranh hình con sóc. Và đây là bức tranh con sóc của mình. Và bức tranh của mình tô ở đây thì có 2 hình nha. Và cái hình bên trên này thì đã được tô màu sẵn rồi. Và hình bên dưới thì chưa được tô màu. Và chú sóc này đang cầm một quả thông nha. Và mình sẽ tô cái bức tranh bên dưới này theo cái bức tranh bên trên. Và các bạn ơi, tất nhiên nhiên là để tô màu thì mình cần phải có hộp màu rồi. Bên cạnh mình đây thì đang có hộp màu gồm 24 màu nha. Và đây là một hộp màu đất sét. Và không để các bạn đợi lâu thì mình sẽ bắt đầu tô bức tranh này ngay bây giờ nhé. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ lấy màu vàng. Đầu tiên mình sẽ lấy màu nâu đi để mình sẽ tô quả thông trước, xong mình sẽ tô chú sóc sau. Mình sẽ lấy màu nâu để tô quả thông nhé. Mình sẽ tô phần đầu của quả thông trước. Giỏi nhỉ. Thế mà vào cái mỉ môi. Hả? Giỏi nha. Dẫn vào mà không biết bảo gì, không thấy bảo gì. Em không bảo cấm chị cho ai vào. Em có cấm chị cho ai vào phòng bao giờ đâu, hay là ngủ lại hay cái gì đâu. Nhưng mà vào phải có ý thức. Kiểu chị Hạnh chị cũng không nói gì, nhưng ý là xe ấy, kể cả có chỗ để không có chỗ để thì hả? Alo. 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 Chị nghe tiếng gì không ấy? Em hỏi là chị có nghe tiếng em nói gì không? Alo. Alo. Chị có nghe tiếng em nói gì không?